All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to game one of the Jeff Blashill experience. I'm your host, the Ringside General, and I'd like to thank you all for spending your Tuesday evening with me as we enjoy game one of the preseason. Addicts only, ladies and gentlemen. I know all of you are absolutely hockey starved the same way that I am. Alex is in full flight right off the bat. Holy, can you shut up? I mean, give me a break. Let me settle down, Alex. This is unbelievable. But in any case, welcome in, everyone. Settle down, grab your popcorn, because there are plenty of important and extremely interesting storylines to discuss before the game actually begins. So let me get to the, not the power play lines. Let's start with the preseason lines. Because this is the first stream of the actual season, I want to go into a little bit more depth with the lineup because there are a few changes. And in my opinion, the biggest change to the Blackhawks from last season is not in the actual lineup, but it is Jeff Blashill, who is going to be one of the most interesting aspects to this game because he is a very different coach than what we're used to seeing behind the Blackhawks bench. He is all about fundamentals. He's less flexible when you compare him to a guy like Anders Sorensen, who specifically with blue liners, he gave them a lot of flexibility in the offensive zone to kind of do what they want, to kind of be rovers. It's not a coincidence that Alex Vlasic had his career best offensive season under Anders Sorensen. Jeff Blashill is not the same way. He's a lot less flexible. He's less about empowering players to do whatever they want and more about teaching them fundamentals and how to eliminate bad habits. He will make it his absolute mission to get rid of the pawn hockey habits that we've seen from this Blackhawks team. And I'm using that terminology very intentionally because even though Connor Bedard is still quote-unquote generational, even though he's still a very important and very unbelievably talented prospect, he did have a few of those bad habits last season, and Jeff Blashill is going to make it his absolute mission to make sure those don't recur. It's also a reminder that I expect the Blackhawks to struggle a bit early. So even though this is overreaction central, I mean, this is game one of the preseason, I know Twitter is going to be going absolute ape wild after this game. I will try my best not to overreact too much if that happens. Now, of course, I'm probably going to go back on my word because, I mean, this is kind of what I do, but it is game one of the preseason under a new coach, under a very different coach. It's a different scheme. It's a different coaching style. It's a different practicing style. I mean, so much of the early training camp emphasis was just on conditioning. We saw so many of those back skates. We saw so many conditioning drills. We saw so many exhausted players after practices. And we saw so many people on Twitter hyper-analyzing every player who had their hands on their knees and things like that. But this is a part of what makes Jeff Blashill different than what the Blackhawks are used to. And it's going to be a bit of a learning curve when it comes to understanding what he demands from his players and how to put the best film on the ice. Now, with that being said, let's see what Alex has been up to. Holy, can you shut up? Just play higher or lower. Has Blashill won a cup, though? No, I mean, he made the playoffs with one of the worst teams to make the playoffs in recent history. Now, whether he's going to be the coach to win in the playoffs in the future remains to be seen. I'm personally more pessimistic on that front than I am optimistic. You can watch my series on the coaching rankings that I did earlier in the offseason if you want more of my thoughts. But I also believe that Jeff Blashill is the exact type of coach to take the Blackhawks from what we saw last season, especially towards the middle of the season, where there were terrible habits, there were horrible body language, there was horrible, a lack of motivation, a lack of drive. He's the perfect coach to take the Blackhawks from what we saw at that stage and take them into an energetic young team, to take them, each individual player, to a different level of their development. That is what Blashill specializes in, and that's what we're going to be seeing in the short term throughout the season, and that process starts tonight. Second City Sports says Reichel is going to get a hat trick due to his practices. All right. Alex says he's the GOAT. All right, let's move on to talking about the actual preseason lines tonight because there are a lot of guys missing. And that's going to be one of the big storylines, right? We'll talk about the Red Wings, who are missing even more important players, but the Blackhawks are not icing Ryan Donato, who recently signed that 4-year extension. We're not going to see Andrei Burakovsky, one of the new signings. We're not going to see Ilya Mikheyev, one of the best penalty killers. We're not going to see Teuvo Teravainen or Tyler Bertuzzi, both of whom are top 6 players. We're not going to see Jason Dickinson. We're not going to see Nick Foligno, the captain. We're not going to see Landon Slaggert. Even in the prospect group, we're not going to see guys like AJ Spellisy. We're not going to see Nick Lardis. We're not going to see a lot of important players. But I believe that this opening lineup is extremely intentional from Jeff Blashill. And it all starts with this first line. Colton Dach is getting a chance alongside Connor Bedard and Lukas Reichel. Now, it's really nice to see Colton Dach back in the lineup because he did struggle with injuries throughout his career. But last season, before his injuries, he was finally starting to establish himself. He had some good chemistry with Bedard, as Richard McDonald says over here. And I really agree. He did show some chemistry with Bedard before he got injured. And in a grand scheme of things, I assume that this is going to be a bit of a placeholder. I don't think Dach is going to be on the first line when the regular season starts. I think this is more likely to be Tyler Bertuzzi because both Dach and Bertuzzi are net front presences and guys who could play off Bedard in a role like that. Now, I'm not saying they're the same player. Dach is more of a bottom sixer. Bertuzzi is more of a top sixer. Dach is more of a physical presence along the boards. Bertuzzi is more of a cerebral net front presence guy. But I assume that this is going to be a placeholder situation, right? On the other wing, you have Lukas Reichel. Now, again, we're missing a lot of players in this lineup. So in the grand scheme of things, it's very possible that Lukas Reichel is another placeholder alongside Connor Bedard. But it's also true that Reichel's never had a real opportunity for a top role outside of a couple odd games with a slumping Bedard last season, and both of them played very bad alongside one another. And considering how bad Reichel has been over the past couple of seasons, he cannot afford to put out bad tape. If he wants to impress Blashill, it's going to start tonight. And the one role on this team that you cannot hide from is the wing role alongside Connor Bedard. Because if you're bad in that role, everybody's going to notice. And this is going to be a big moment for Lukas Reichel in the span of his career. This is going to be one of the moments that we look back on, right? If he does not work in Chicago, it's going to start tonight. If he puts out bad tape, I assume that he's going to be phased out of the lineup. He's going to be phased out of the game plan, and we may not see him too much when the regular season rolls around. And Jeff Blashill talked about Reichel specifically pregame, and he talked about how Reichel is a skilled player, and he gets to play alongside skilled players like Bedard and Dach. And I also think that Reichel may be one of the players who theoretically would benefit the most from Blashill, because Reichel is not really the world's most creative player. That's not how he operates in the offensive zone, but he's supremely skilled. I remember that breakaway against the LA Kings, I believe it was at the end of last season, where he went coast to coast. He's extremely talented. And Blashill's scheme does a lot of thinking for you in the offensive zone. So a player who's notorious for getting lost in the offensive zone because he overthinks everything could benefit a lot from the simplicity that the offensive concepts in the Blashill scheme inherently have. So I'm really curious to see how he works on that top line. And of course, did we just call Reichel bad? No, I'm not calling Reichel bad. I'm saying he was bad over the past couple of seasons, statistically and in terms of the tape he put out. I still believe in Reichel to a certain degree. I think he's reaching the end of the opportunities that he's going to get in Chicago colors. But I really hope to see him succeed with the Blackhawks. I think that would be a very good benefit for the Blackhawks if that happens. And of course, centering these two wingers is year 3 Connor Bedard. The Connor Bedard that worked on his skating all of last season, who's getting rave reviews throughout training camp, who's still the most important player on the Blackhawks. When he goes, the Blackhawks go. And if he slumps, the Blackhawks slump. Connor Bedard, we're going to finally see an opportunity. We're going to see whether Connor Bedard's skating emphasis throughout the offseason translates immediately to the on-ice product. And that's going to be really exciting to watch. Second line, Oliver Moore, the fastest player on this team, alongside Frank Nazar, who just signed that long-term extension. He is on the second line in this game. He's going to be on the second line, probably centering the second line when the regular season begins as well. I expect Bedard and Nazar to be your 1-2 down the middle when the regular season starts. And then Aiden Thompson on their wing. This is a young line. This is a hungry line. And this is all about speed and two-way ability. This is going to be one of the identity lines throughout this game, especially we'll talk about the Red Wings a bit later, but they have a lot of gritty grinders, a lot of AHL players. This could be a line that stands out against that type of competition. Going to the third line, we'll talk about Anderson a little bit, but he's probably going to be in the AHL to start the season. There's not too much to talk about from that front. This spot is definitely going to be taken over by maybe a guy like Nick Foligno, a guy like Andre Burakovsky, a guy like Jason Dickinson, somebody like that. So Joey Anderson's going to be in the AHL unless something shocking happens. Ryan Green is a player who had a 2-game stint towards the end of last season, and I think many people are assuming that he's going to start in the AHL. Real quick, Alex says, where are you watching the game ringside? I'm out of market. I'm watching on ESPN Plus. I'm chilling. Second City Sports says line 2 is the Ka-chow line. Absolutely. I mean, that line can fly, and I'm really interested to see, because Blashill also mentioned this specifically in the pregame process. He said he already knows that players can fly around the ice, but he's looking to see whether those players can also have an impact. I mean, it almost sounded like he was talking directly to Oliver Moore, because his skating doesn't always translate to impact, especially at the NCAA level. So seeing whether that can finally happen at the NHL level is going to be really important in his development. But Ryan Green is a player that a lot of people assume will start in the AHL, and it's still very likely. But thinking about the Blackhawks lineup to start the regular season, we already talked about the 1-2 punch of Bedard and Nazar down the middle. I expect that to carry over to the regular season. Third line center, probably going to be Jason Dickinson. But my question is, who is going to be the fourth line center? I mean, is it going to be Laferty, who mostly plays wing, although he can play center? Is it going to be Foligno, who is slow as molasses and is also a bit better on the wing than he's been at center, even though he does win faceoffs? Or can Ryan Green, who's a more natural center and a reliable two-way player and a player who showed good leadership at the NCAA level as a captain for Boston, can he take that position out of camp as a fourth line center and work his way up the roster in that position? I think he has a real chance to do that. And again, that audition process starts today, because there are a lot of players who could be competing with him who are not in the lineup. Guys like Ryan Donato, for example, who did play center a lot, both for the Blackhawks and for the Seattle Kraken before coming. And he's on a pretty sizable deal. But if Ryan Green can start to establish that, that he's a slam dunk pick to be an NHLer from day one, and it's going to be up to him to establish that, then maybe Donato plays on the wing, and maybe Green can be a center. That process all starts tonight. And then Sam Laferty. And boy, can we talk about Sam Laferty. I mean, this is the closest that Kyle Davidson will ever get to having a Stan Bowman-esque obsession with a former player. Because keep in mind, acquiring Laferty was one of Davidson's best early moves. This happened only 2 months after Kyle Davidson was hired as an interim general manager. It was January 2022 when the Blackhawks acquired Sam Laferty from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Alex Nylander. Boys, do we remember Alex Nylander? I mean, there's so much that can be said about that, but that trade was done without real expectations. This was a trade to get Alex Nylander the hell out of Chicago. That was the goal of the trade. And Sam Laferty ended up being an identity bottom six player. And he was then packaged alongside defenseman Jake McCabe, who was another one of Davidson's best early Chicago moves, to the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for a first and a second alongside Joey Anderson and Pavel Gogolev. I have no clue what my dude Pavel Gogolev is up to these days, but Joey Anderson is still a good AHLer. But being able to flip a guy who was an afterthought from the Pittsburgh Penguins for essentially a package including a first-round pick was a huge win. It was one of the best early moves that Kyle Davidson had. And to me, it's clear that because of how good Sam Laferty was in that early stint in Chicago, Kyle Davidson's never got over his love fest for this player. I mean, from Toronto, he moved to Vancouver, where Sam Laferty had his career season, and then he was traded from Vancouver back to Chicago in exchange for a fourth-round pick alongside the Ilya Mikheyev and the second-round pick that were exchanged between the teams. But the Blackhawks made it their mission to trade for Laferty's negotiating rights when he became an unrestricted free agent. But Laferty in Chicago did not reach a contract agreement, and then he signed with the Buffalo Sabres on a 2-year deal. Now, that 2-year deal is important because he only played 1 season in Buffalo where he had a pretty sizable slump from where he was in Vancouver. He wasn't anywhere near as impactful. But a season later, guess who traded for him again? Yep, it's Kyle Davidson. So now he's on a 1-year deal, and he's going to start his return to Chicago on that third line alongside Green and Anderson. And he better be an identity piece because it's clear that Kyle Davidson really values this player. And from a bigger picture point of view, this is one of the veterans who always plays with 100% effort. You don't expect him to put up the offensive production that he did in Vancouver, but he's going to be a player who helps these young players adapt to the standards that Jeff Blashill will carry them to, because he always plays with 100% effort, and that's something that Blashill will demand from everybody else. The fourth line is a young line. It's going to be a line. None of these players are going to be in the None of these players are going to be in the NHL when the season starts. Jack Pridham had a breakout season in his first year in the OHL. He had 54 points in 48 games. He'll spend another year with Kitchener this season before moving on to the NCAA with Boston University next season. Dominic Tonitino is I just butchered his name. I'm so sorry. Dominic Toninato is a 31-year-old AHL veteran. He's not going to be in the NHL. He's going to be with the Rockford Ice Hogs, where hopefully he won't be single-handedly losing playoff games the way that Stanley Cup champion Zach Sanford did last year. I'm bringing back my own PTSD at this point. And then Merrick Van Acker. I'm mildly surprised that he's actually playing. I assume this is going to be the only preseason game that he actually plays with before he moves back to Brantford next season. This upcoming season. His teammate Nick Lardis from last season is going to be graduating to the AHL this season, but Merrick Van Acker will be back with Brantford this season, and we'll see how he does in that role. Now, the blue line is a lot more of the NHL roster than the forwards are. Because yes, we're missing Alex Vlasic. Yes, we're missing Connor Murphy. But beyond those two players, this is exactly the group of defensemen who will be trying to make the NHL out of camp. You have Ethan Del Mastro alongside Sam Rinzel. In my opinion, Sam Rinzel is a slam dunk pick, not only to be in the NHL from day one, but to be the first pairing right-handed defenseman from day one. And I expect him to take that role from day one as he is doing in preseason game one, and I expect him to hold it throughout the entire season. Now, the second pairing, Wyatt Kaiser finally signed that extension. He was an RFA, and he went unsigned almost the entire offseason. The Blackhawks finally brought him back, and he does have chemistry with Levshunov. They played together on a pairing under Anders Sorensen for a lot of last season, and Artem Levshunov is going to be under the scrutiny of Jeff Blashill, because this is one of the key players who will need to prove that he has improved from the way he played last season in order to guarantee an NHL role from day one. There are a lot of clips of him kind of struggling in training camp. He had a very strong start to the training camp. We'll see how he plays in this preseason, but it's not a coincidence that Levshunov and Korchinski, who we'll talk about, both are starting from day one. These are two guys who are going to be vying for an NHL spot out of training camp, and they're going to have to put good tape forward, because otherwise they're going to be replaced by Connor Murphy on the second pairing right-hand defenseman position, and perhaps by Matt Grzelcyk, who's not actually a Blackhawks player, but he's a player who can kind of take that position that Korchinski has. He's currently on a PTO, but if Korchinski starts in the AHL, I would expect Matt Grzelcyk to sign to be that bottom pairing, smaller, offensive transition, power play 2 type player that Korchinski would be occupying if he was in the NHL. And Louis Crevier is the ultimate 7 defenseman. Kevin Fitzgerald will not be in the NHL to start the season. And then Arvid Soderblom, who looks to be the primary backup in the NHL, especially since Laurent Brossoit, who the heck knows if he is ever going to play. I mean, the dude was injured all of last season. He's still injured. So Arvid Soderblom will be playing the entire game, as Blashill said. And Drew Commesso, who will be starting in the AHL to start the season, will be his backup. All right, let me catch up on chat. We do have 10 minutes before puck drop. Alex says he's young AF, though Blashill is a B. Still, Second City Sports says Reichel is at his best when he gets the puck on the edge of our zone and carries it through the neutral zone. I completely agree. And transition is one of the strengths of Blashill. He loves that close support in transition, where a lot of the speed that the Blackhawks have throughout the season will really show itself. And the fact that Connor Bedard went out of his way to complement the speed of this roster is a testament to what Kyle Davidson's building. Because throughout the last 2 seasons, the Blackhawks have been one of the slowest teams in the NHL. And even though this is a bare bones type forward group, you can already tell with guys like Reichel on the first line, Bedard hopefully showing better speed, Nazar and Moore and Thompson on the second line, a very fast team, Laferty with speed on the third line, Pridham with speed on the fourth line, along with Merrick Van Acker. This is already a much faster team than they were last season. And that is a part of the identity that Kyle Davidson wants the Blackhawks to have in the future. And we're finally going to see that materialize throughout this season. And the first instance of that materializing will be in game 1 of the preseason, starting in 10 minutes. Alex says Matthew Schaefer will win the Calder if he starts the season. He will be starting in the NHL this season. He looked very impressive in preseason game 1. It's going to be between him and Ivan Demidov, who is the bane of my existence. I'm kind of done talking about Ivan Demidov. He's so freaking good. But it's going to be a really interesting Calder race. I think Sam Rinzel has a chance to be in that conversation as well, so that will be interesting to see. Second City Sports says, I doubt he starts in the NHL. I assume you mean Korchinski. I agree. I tend to agree with that, especially since he's still not the biggest. He doesn't look like he gained a lot of lower body strength, which was one of his biggest weaknesses going into the offseason. It looks like he's going to be taking his sweet time in the AHL. And again, I trust Jared Nightingale. I trust the roster moves that Kyle Davidson made for the AHL. I think if Drew Commesso can carry his form from the end of last season and into the playoffs last year, if he can continue that form, he will be one of the best goaltenders in the AHL. If Levshinov and Korchinski start in the AHL, you hope they continue to improve you hope they become a stabilizing force in front of Commesso. And maybe that's an ideal developmental position for guys like Korchinski, guys like Moore, guys like we talked about him earlier, but guys like Nick Lardis and other guys who look to be starting in the AHL. I do like the moves that the Ice Hawks have made, so we'll see if that ends up being an ideal developmental destination. Andrew Nolan says, taking the Hawks in regulation tonight, special hello to Grab. I'm not sure about predictions. We'll go through the Red Wings roster because this is not an NHL roster. I mean, the Blackhawks at least have Bedard, they have Nazar, they have Moore, who's going to be in a discussion for an NHL spot. They have Reichel, Doc, who spent NHL time last season, Ryan Green, who will be in discussions. Laferty's a lock for the NHL roster. The entire blue line is basically set from the NHL, apart from, as we mentioned earlier, Alex Vlasic and Connor Murphy. This, by comparison, is not an NHL roster by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you have Travis Hamonic, you have Jonathan Berggren, you have JT Compher. Those are the only 3 players on this entire roster who look to be set for the NHL. You also have some top prospects, guys like Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard, guys like Axel Sandin Pellikka, who's one of the most dynamic defensive prospects in all of hockey. A lot of Red Wing fans should be very excited about Sandin Pellikka finally getting his opportunity in the NHL. We'll see whether he makes the NHL roster. I don't think he will, but it'll be interesting to see how that type of style from Sweden translates to the NHL. An offensive defenseman, a guy who will be quarterbacking their power play unit of the future. They're very excited to see him play. You have Blackhawks legend Ian Mitchell as well. Remember when everyone thought he was the next Duncan Keith? How stupid we all were. But he's also in the lineup. But beyond that, this is a bunch of AHLers. This is a bunch of prospects and AHLers. From a pure talent point of view, this is a less talented roster than the Blackhawks are putting out. You don't have Patrick Kane. You don't have Alex DeBrincat. You don't have Dylan Larkin. You don't have Lucas Raymond. You don't have any of the top players on the Red Wings roster. So from that perspective, everything that we see tonight, whether it's positive or negative from the Blackhawks, we will have to take with a grain of salt. Connor wearing the A. Is he actually wearing the A? I'm not. I didn't see who will be wearing letters. I guess we'll see when the actual game starts. Now, real quick, we do have around 5 minutes before puck drop. Let's talk a little bit about the power play units for this preseason opener. Now, again, we talked about this earlier, but I don't expect this to hold up when the regular season starts. Hold up. Let me get a quick sip of Celsius. We have strawberry dragon fruit, by the way, for those wondering. I don't expect these power play units to be the same as when the Blackhawks take the ice for the regular season opener. But with that being said, we do have some obvious players who will be playing on the power play. You have Connor Bedard and you have Frank Nazar, and I expect them to be holding those positions when the regular season starts. And from that perspective, given that Blashill is such a structure and fundamentals first coach, I expect to see the power play to look structurally pretty similar to the way that it will look when the regular season starts. And that will be interesting to see whether Reichel fits in that structure. And also Colton Dach, I mentioned earlier, he's going to be at the net front. That will be Bertuzzi's job when the season starts. But again, we'll start to see some of the concepts that Blashill wants the Blackhawks to be playing with when on the power play. And Sam Rinzel will be quarterback in the first power play unit. I don't think there's any alternative to him. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but I expect Sam Rinzel, especially with that 15 pounds of added milkshake weight, I expect him to be the number one right-handed defenseman on this team. I expect him to be quarterbacking the first power play unit. I hope to see the Blackhawks on the power play for at least a few opportunities in this game to kind of see that unit work. The second power play unit, you do have Oliver Moore. If he makes a roster, I expect him to be on power play 2. You do have Ryan Green. Again, if he makes a roster, he has a chance to be on the second power play unit as well. And Lefshinov. If he makes a roster, I expect him to have a chance to be quarterbacking power play 2. Lefshinov specifically on the power play is a guy I'm going to have my eyes glued to, because he was not very good quarterbacking the power play last season, and from the few clips that I've seen from training camp, I saw a lot of the same mistakes. If he's not able to quarterback the second power play unit, he will either be a 5-on-5 only guy, and then maybe we see a guy like Matt Grzelcyk, who we talked about earlier, getting an actual contract to be the power play 2 quarterback. If Korchinski starts in the NHL, he will be competing with Lefshinov for that power play 2 role, or Lefshinov can also start in the AHL, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Joey Anderson will be nowhere near the power play when the regular season starts, and same with Dominic Toninato. He will be nowhere near the power play when the regular season starts. Second City Sports says, if Green makes the team out of camp, we're in trouble. It depends. I mean, he would be on a fourth line role either way. And keep in mind, the Blackhawks are still not looking to contend this season. I have a lot of forgiveness in my heart for fourth line roles on a team that's not trying to contend. If the Blackhawks decide, well, hey, Ryan Green is a guy who's better suited for the NHL, alongside probably a Sam Laferty and a Nick Foligno, help him learn how to be a bottom sixer at the NHL level, which is the role he would be having in 5-10 years if he makes the team in the long term, then why not? I mean, if he wants to be the fourth line center, maybe move Ryan Donato to a third line role, whatever the case may be, I have a lot of forgiveness if he actually makes the team. Again, I don't expect him to be on the power play 2 when the regular season starts. He is there, and we'll see whether some of the offense that he brought to Boston translates to the NHL in a preseason form. Alex's noties, I will watch Alex say the most diabolical thing in my notifications. Let's see what Alex said this time. Oh, he is sporting an A. I mean, you guys can say whatever you want. I know Connor Bedard, this GIF is exactly my reaction. Say what you want about Connor Bedard. He looks absolutely cold with the color on his jersey. I mean, if that continues into the regular season, watch out, boys. I mean, remember Patrick Kane? The demon time that he was always on when he was wearing an A? I mean, who knows? Year 3 Bedard might just be different. Let me do a little retweet. Thanks for sharing that, by the way, Alex. You usually give me the most diabolical mentions whenever you're in my mentions, whenever you're in my notifications on Twitter. But I appreciate this. This is good stuff. All right, you get a like for that. All right, boys, we're ready to get started, aren't we? 2 minutes away. Let me refresh my stream. I will be watching on. Let me actually get to the Game Center. Let me refresh this. Let's see if. The Game Center isn't quite live yet, but I'll be watching on ESPN Plus. You can watch this wherever you get CHSN if you're in market in Chicago. I don't know if they have an app. I know they have DirecTV and they have a couple other options. I thought they were on Comcast as well. I apologize. I'm an out-on-market fan, so I don't follow as closely to all the CHSN BS that we were subjected to over the past year and a half. I've been happily on ESPN Plus. So with that being said, the hockey-starved nation of Chicago is finally getting some hockey. We're getting our hockey fix, boys. I'm so excited to watch this. I'm irrationally excited. I mentioned earlier in the stream that I'm not going to overreact. I already know I'm lying, though, boys, because hockey is back. Who's pumped up? Let me get score predictions in the chat. I'm going to say 3-2 Chicago, all right? Bedard with 2 goals. Actually, Bedard with 1 goal and 1 assist. Lucas Reichel with 1 goal. I'm trying to manifest that into the universe. I really want Reichel to have a good game, man. That's just one player. He needs to have a good game, and it needs to start from today. So I'm going to manifest a goal for Reichel, and I'm going to say Nazar with a pass to Aiden Thompson for a goal. EE says 4-1. I love the way you think. I assume that means 4-1 the Blackhawks win. Otherwise, we might have to ban you. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, thanks for joining. It looks like we have 40 people in chat. 40 viewers right now. Thank you guys all for spending your Tuesday evening watching preseason hockey, you absolute addicts. It looks like the ESPN stream has not started yet. It says my event is about to start soon. Let me get my AirPods in. Alex says 6-2 Blackhawks. Bedard 6 goals. Doubling up that prospect showcase opener that Bedard had. Remember when he had a hat trick? The world's easiest hat trick, by the way. All right, I can hear my own voice in my headphones, which is the one of the worst voices that you can absolutely hear. So let me make sure it's switched to the live stream. There we go. The live stream is about to begin right now. So if you guys are not already tuned in, make sure to tune in to wherever you get your hockey content. If you guys do not have a live stream, let me know. I know some shady websites as well. Be sure to be in our Discord because we do be sharing some links and we do be helping each other out, all right? We are a very collaborative and very friendly environment over there. If you want proof, you can ask Anthony Tony. I know he loved our community before he unfortunately had to leave. Hagel Bagel says, I can get it because I live in Ottawa. That's exactly how I feel, man. I can get this live stream because I live in California. And I feel bad for being this happy that I'm out of market. But ESPN Plus just works better for me than CHSN ever has. And I hope they fix it. And I hope for those of you who are in the Chicago market, let me know how the stream is. All right? RIP Tony. I mean, you and I have the same thought process with that, man. We all miss him. Especially with that stuff from with Tylenol. I know he would have his opinions, man. I'm not going to get political in this stream, but oh my God. For those of you who don't know, by the way, nice to meet you. For those of you who are new, please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Very ambitious goal. I'll be perfectly happy if that does not happen. It's just a little goal that we have. We'll have a nice little party when that does happen. I am a medical student, which is why my upload schedule is not the best. I also have a gaming channel, which is at Ringside Gamer, where we have NHL 26 content. We'll be starting a Civilization 7 series momentarily within the next week or two. I already started recording that series. We'll see if we have a GTA 6 series when that game comes out. It'll be a great time. All right, so if you like that type of content, you can consider subscribing there as well. Rick Ball is back alongside Darian Pang. I really miss Rick Ball. I'm glad we don't have that. Remember that one year when we didn't have any good commentator and we were stuck with Chris Fosters? Seemed like a great guy, just couldn't commentate to save his life. Alex is Ringside STFU. Glad to see he's just as supportive as always. I like that both of these two teams, to some degree, are treating this as a prospect showcase, with, again, the exception of the Blackhawks having some of their most important players playing as well, especially on the blue line, alongside Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar. Aiden Thompson. Man, I really want Aiden Thompson to succeed. I know he's a little bit older than the average Blackhawks prospect. I know he's already 23 years old, and I know he, compared to other players who are 23, he has way less NHL or professional experience than those players do. But I feel like every time he played last season, how many games did he have last season? I mean, he had 4 professional regular season games last year. He also played in the playoffs. I feel like in that small sample size, he was extremely impressive. And he's also been noticeable throughout training camp. I wonder if he ends up being a bottom 6 player of the future. The guy, Alex, says, please keep political opinions out of this because I love your hockey knowledge. That's why I'm here. I will never get political. The Tylenol thing was a joke. I'm not even going to elaborate anymore. All right. This is not a political channel. And I would advise, if you ever get your opinions from me about politics or anything serious, please reconsider your life choices. I'm never going to get political, and you should not be getting your politics or your opinions on real life from an anonymous, faceless hockey YouTuber. All right? That's never going to be me, and you have my word for that. Your name in NHL is Karachi BSTF. All right, buddy. Second City Sports' Discord link. All right, let me go grab it right now. Invite people. Expire never. Generate new link. Copy and paste. All right, I just pasted the Discord invite link for those of you who are not in the Discord. It's a nice little Blackhawks themed community. We also have some Shark fans in there. I wonder if Shakira is here. If she's not, I apologize for talking behind your back. We have other fans. It's a great, very laid back community. We take our fan base very lightly. We talk about some other sports. We talk about some medicine stuff. We talk about whatever comes to our minds. We do some self promo. Oh, you already put it in? My bad. You have 2 links now. There are no excuses not to join. Be sure to join our Discord. We don't bother you too much, but it's the best way to talk about hockey in a very laid-back community. That guy, Alex69, nice, says, oh, nice, I'll definitely join. I appreciate that, man. You're more than welcome. And thank you for joining us in the live stream as well, especially for all of you who are new. It's great to have hockey back. I mean, I love the sport of hockey. It's why I started this YouTube channel. And I'm just giddy out of my mind that hockey is back. It's been too long. It's the worst part of the hockey season is how long the freaking off season is. But hockey is back, and we're going to have consistent hockey for the rest of the season, and I really can't wait. The CHSN broadcast is kind of touting that as well. Hockey is back. Nazar also chilling with an A on his jersey, which is absolute cinema. Nazar may very well never get rid of that A, man. I really want to have a dedicated video about Nazar because he is probably my favorite player on this entire team. I love everything that Frank Nazar is. And you know how good Nazar is because if you think theoretically about prospects who have never touched the NHL ice yet, and you think, what does their ideal line mate look like? The answer for almost all of them is Frank Nazar. Think about Nick Lardis. Who on this NHL team is the ideal line mate for Nick Lardis? I'm pausing for you guys to answer, but the answer is undoubtedly Frank Nazar. What about Anton Frendel? The answer is Frank Nazar. What about Marek Van Acker? Answer is Frank Nazar. Everybody who's a middle 6 player or a bottom 6 player or a top 6 player, their quote-unquote ideal line mate is Frank Nazar because he's versatile, he's creative, he's a two-way player, he plays with speed, he plays with creativity, he plays along the boards, he's middle-driven, he's everything that a coach wants a player to be like. I really can't believe that he's signed long-term on a very team-friendly deal, and anybody who criticizes that deal, you know absolutely no puck. Yeah, I like the way you think, Hagel Bagel. He'll get rid of the A when he takes a C when Fleggy retires. I'm not putting it past him, man. He would be on my short list. I assume that the more likely player to get the C is going to be Connor Bedard, but if the C goes to Frank Nazar, I would be thrilled. I'm also really excited to see Bedard, man. A lot of coaches would have benched their star player, just like the Red Wings are in this game. Blashill's putting him right out there, man. And I'm really excited to watch how that summer training has changed this game. Ringside, what's your favorite kind of water? That's a very good question. I kind of go back and forth. I used to be a smart water person when I was an undergrad. I used to be a Fiji guy when I was in high school. I think I have a long list of water that I hate, and it's longer than my list of water that I love, if that makes sense. I hate Dasani. It's absolutely horrible. I dislike Aquafina. It's generally not the best. But beyond that, I tend to tolerate water. I like to think of myself as a water drinker. One of the underrated waters, especially for the price, is the 7-Eleven pure water. I think it tastes like 85% as good as Smart Water, and it's usually half the price. Whenever I'm in a gas station and I need water, that's usually the one I go for. The C is going to Vlasic. We'll see about that. Game's about to start, boys. The puck is about to drop. It's JT Compher versus Connor Bedard. Bedard going a little early. Puck is dropped, and away we go. JT Compher beats Bedard at the opening faceoff. And away we go. Axel Sandin Pellikka. I thought that was an icing, but apparently it was deflected. Soderblom goes out to play it. Sandin Pellikka can't keep the puck in. And now Sam Rinzel. Over to Del Mastro, up ahead. Horrible pass, Del Mastro. Come on, man. JT Compher now Del Mastro in a board battle. The Red Wings come free with it. A long shot is deflected by Lukas Reichel, a good defensive stick, and it goes out of play. It's going to also be interesting to see the way that Arvid Soderblom responds to last season. Of course, the storyline between the pipes is going to be Spencer Knight, who got that short-term extension, a bit of a controversial extension. You guys probably know I'm fine with that extension. I tend not to microanalyze financial decisions. I don't think they matter as much as people say they do in terms of specific AAV. Oh, why didn't he get $0.2 million less? I don't care. The big storyline is going to be Spencer Knight, but Arvid Soderblom had a bounce-back season last year, and it was definitely the best season of his career. It was still up and down, but compared to the way he played the season before, as Aiden Thompson goes chasing for a puck, over to Nazar, who whiffs on the one-timer. He had an open chance, but he does keep the puck in momentarily, and then it's sent all the way down for icing. Oh, actually, they negate icing. Kaiser plays it over to Levshinov. And now Joey Anderson sends it in. But what I was saying is Arvid Soderblom had a bounce-back season compared to the way he played the season prior. And it looks like he's going to be the primary backup again for the Blackhawks. And we'll see if he can justify that contract that he got. Sebastian Cossa, the future goaltender, #1 for the Red Wings, makes an easy save as Wyatt Kaiser got a big hit by Michael Brantek-Nygaard, the former first-round pick. Nice little physicality by the Red Wings prospect. I expect the Red Wings to be playing with physicality because there are a lot of physical AHLers in this lineup. It's good to see Brantek. If you're a Red Wings fan, it's good to see Brantek-Nygaard showing that type of bite, though. I expect him to be like a third-line center, maybe second liner of the future, but I expect him to be an important piece for the Red Wings when they're contending again. Sam Lafferty's on the ice. Look at that, number 24. We missed you, bud. Nobody missed you more than Kyle Davidson, though. But we all missed you. Dump pass, Corch. Toninato as well on the ice for the first time in Blackhawks colors. Former member of the Manitoba Moose, the AHL affiliate of the Winnipeg Jets. He's going to be primarily an AHLer, but good to see him hit the ice as well. I expect Jared Nightingale to be running a very similar scheme in the AHL to what a horrible pass. Del Mastro's not had a good game. That's the second horrible pass that Del Mastro's had so far in the opening 3 minutes of the game. Oh! Rebound! What a pass by Bedard. Just missed the stick. Was that Colton Dow? Who is that? Oh, was that Lukas Reichel? Frank Garvin says, where is this a game available to watch? It is available to watch wherever you get your CHSN broadcast. I believe... Oh! Reichel robbed by Sebastian Cossa. Connor Bedard with his second tremendous pass of the game. And the opening 3.5 minutes. 2 grade A chances created single-handedly by Connor Bedard. And Sebastian Cossa with a grade A save on Lukas Reichel. Frank Garvin says it's not on over-the-air broadcast like last year. It would be on DirecTV, I believe. If you have Comcast, somebody from the Chicago market, can you guys help him out? You could also get it illegally if you guys want some of those. You'd have to join the Discord. I'm not going to talk about that publicly. I value my the monetization and stuff. I don't want my channel to be taken down. Oliver Moore battling with the puck, escapes his zone. Oh, horrible pass. That was almost a 3-on-1, but horrible pass. And now here comes Oliver Moore. Aiden Thompson attempted pass over to Frank Nazar, not the right decision, and it's intercepted, but Levshinov. You left the puck behind, buddy. Hold the zone. Fundamentals, man. I have my eyes glued on you, Levshinov. No margin for error, otherwise you're going to be rotting in the AHL again. I mean, he just whiffed on a shot, and the puck escaped the zone. Colton Dock wearing number 34. That's trippy to see. I'm used to him wearing number 28. Looks like Peter Mrazek all over again skating. But Colton Dach wearing a new number. Another horrible pass. A lot of these defensemen are still getting used to playing in the Jeff Blashill scheme. Louis Crevier had a bad pass. Del Mastro had 2 bad passes. Korchinski had a bad pass. Oh, look at Connor Bedard jumping over a sprawl defender. It was also hard on the forecheck that play. Nice to see. John L says, I think I saw a tweet that is free on CHSN's website. You just have to sign in with an email. I haven't tried that out, but maybe you can try that, Frank Garvin. Check out the CHSN website and see if you can get it there. That would be nice. I hope that's true, John L. I really do. I feel like they owe that to their fans after the debacle from last season. Early dump and chase for the Blackhawks. You hate to see it. I hope Jeff Blashill does not revert to that the way he did in Detroit. Jonathan Berggren battling with 2 Blackhawks players. Ryan Green gets it up. Oh, I don't like these breakouts, man. I do not like these breakouts. Nobody's ahead of the puck. A lot of horizontal hockey, a lot of horrible passes to absolutely nobody. I don't like these breakouts early. Again, I'm not going to overreact to one game, especially 6 minutes into the first game, but I don't like these breakouts. Jack Pridham up ahead. That's intercepted. Jack Pridham gets it back. Shot. He whiffs on it. He had a half chance. Partial break. And Jack Pridham just cannot pull the trigger. Second City Sports says, yeah, I just checked. You can watch on Blackhawks.com. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's a brilliant back check, actually. Whoever that Red Wings prospect is made a really good play on Pridham. I thought he just whiffed on it, but it was a brilliant play from behind him. Good defensive play by Wyatt Kaiser there. It'll be interesting to see whether he has his legs from underneath him because he was a late signing, was Wyatt Kaiser. Great takeaway by Oliver Moore, and now here he goes in transition. Nice pass. Frank Nazar. Oh, bad pass. Good little play by Ollie Moore there. Defense to offense in a flash. I mean, we'll see whether it all translates for Oliver Moore this season, but you cannot question his skating, man. Aiden Thompson, heavy on the forecheck alongside Frank Nazar. It looks like a 1-2-2 forecheck, by the way, with one forechecker, 2 guys just in the neutral zone and 2 guys holding the defensive blue line. Bedard looks faster, boys. Bedard looks faster. Here he is on the forecheck again. Nice pass. Renzel shot looking for a tip from Colton Dach. Colton Dach ends up sprawled all over Sebastian Cossa. Good to see him kind of fighting along that net front. But man, Connor Bedard has been the best player on the ice by a mile in the opening 7 minutes of this game. Beautiful pass by Moore. Yeah, not followed up by the best pass by Nazar, but it's okay. The one guy who's been consistently good in the early going in this game has been Connor Bedard, and that's exactly who you want to see dominating a game like this. Any early takeaways, boys? Let me hear it. I'm just so happy hockey's back, man. I've missed this so much. You know, life can get difficult. Life can get busy. Hockey is just a beautiful departure from real life. And I assume everyone here feels the same way. Also, I forgot to ask, but any problems with the stream, any lag, any difficulty seeing anything? Let me just refresh this once just to make sure it's up to date. It looks like it's up to date. No penalties taken. That's probably going to change. I hope that does change. I want to see the Blackhawks power play pretty desperately, actually. But one thing I will note, though, about Connor Bedard is he's never been bad on the power play at the NHL level. His slumps last season have been 5-on-5. So the fact that even though this is preseason, again, we have to always remember that it is preseason game 1 against a glorified developmental prospect team with the Red Wings. Even though it is that setting, the fact that he's doing so well at 5-on-5 in the opening 7 minutes is extremely promising. John L says, I like what I see so far for the most part, but I like to see a goal from some of the opportunities they've had. I really like what I'm seeing from the forwards. I hate what I'm seeing from the defensemen on the breakout. But again, that's part of the learning curve. Given how different the breakout is under Blashill than it's been under Richardson or Sorensen or anybody else from the past, there is going to be a bit of a learning curve from the defensemen when it comes to breaking the puck out. A lot of bad passes from the defense. A lot of good plays from the offense, especially from Bedard. Pridham just looks like a hockey player, doesn't he? A lot of speed, a lot of goal-scoring ability as well. See him talking with Tony Nato. Tony Nato is going to be really important for the AHL roster. I'm going to save my thoughts on him for when we inevitably have a Rockford Ice Hogs live stream. Because I know you guys are all addicts. You guys can't get enough of it. Neither can I, so I'm sure we'll have a live stream sooner than later. An Ice Hogs themed live stream. Offsides on the Red Wings. Boys looking good so far. Hell yeah, they are. The Hockey Sun. Second City Sports is little sluggish, but that's pretty expected. I agree. I feel like especially given how much Blashill has emphasized conditioning early on, and we've had relatively few scrimmages for the Blackhawks compared to what other teams have had at this stage. And that's kind of by design. It's not a coincidence that people look a little sluggish, a little tired, a little uncoordinated. That's to be expected. Here's Colton Dock, a bad pass to Bedard, but he beats out what I think would have been icing. Renzel holds the line, dances around a forechecker. A back check by Bedard. Are they calling that a penalty? No, they're not. Good call, ref. Now here's Connor Bedard in the defensive zone. Pass over to Sam Renzel. Let's see this coordinated breakout. Over to Joey Anderson. Horrible pass. I hate these breakouts, boys. I'm trying my best not to overreact. I freaking hate these breakouts. Horrible so far. But again, it's uncoordinated. It's a very different idea than what they've been used to. So far, the early returns are not good at all. Here's Sam Laferty dancing into the offensive zone. Travis Hamonic, one of the few NHLers on this Red Wings roster. That puck is deflected all the way down, and Louis Crevier ensures that it will be icing, and the puck will be dropped in the offensive zone for the Blackhawks. The guy Alex69 says, how do you know hockey? Do you play or coach? Actually, no. I just had a passion for hockey from a relatively young age. I credit Patrick in for getting me into hockey, and I've always been an analytical guy. I've watched a lot of film, and this is just a hobby for me. I've talked to coaches. I've learned kind of secondhand from coaches, but no, I've never played. I've never coached. Oh my God, did Bedsy get a girlfriend? Second City, you sound like Alex now. Why are you getting so excited for him? I mean, I'm happy for him too, if that's the case. By the way, this is an underrated play. I don't like the way Korchinski stepped up in the zone there. I only noticed because I have my eyes glued to him every time he's on the ice. But he pinched up the left boards in the offensive zone, even though the puck was nowhere near that position. Just a little thing. As the Red Wings ice the puck again. John L says, I do think they unfortunately dropped antenna coverage. I'm not sure since I've been using DirecTV. I honestly feel bad for everybody in the Chicago market, man. I'm very thankful. I miss Chicago like I miss anything, man. I really miss Chicago. Great food, great vibes. I'm very thankful that my medical school took me to California because I'm able to watch the Blackhawks without stressing game in and game out. And if I was in Chicago, I'd be stressing a lot more. And that's just a sad reality. I feel bad for everybody in the Chicago market. Second City Sports says, I've just pictured him living like a monk the last 2 years. Oh, rebound just trickles past Arvid Soderblom. He was kind of out of position there. I don't like this breakout, man. I do not like this breakout. Always three guys behind the puck, nobody ahead of it. Always guys looking up ice to absolutely nobody and forcing the puck to the Red Wings. Always turnovers. Another good save by Soderblom. I don't like this breakout, man. I really hope they figure this out before the regular season, because otherwise my thoughts on Jeff Blashill will sour quickly, man. Again, I'm trying not to overreact. These breakouts suck. Again! Oh my God. It's just pass along the boards and prayers. Really nice play by Oliver Moore to recover the puck along the boards and kind of force it and funnel it towards the net. Nice little stick handling, nice little skill show by Oliver Moore there. But these breakouts suck. They're so bad. And it goes against everything Blashill preaches. The whole point of so-called triangle support and close support, as we see the replay of that puck deflecting off Axel sending Pelika on the attempted pass by Oliver Moore. Just wait till we see the power play breakout. That may be my last straw, man. That may be my last straw. Again, we're under 10 minutes into the opening preseason game. I'm trying my best not to overreact. I just think that this is a big area of improvement that needs to happen for the Blackhawks, especially on the blue line where all the talent of the Blackhawks are. You are nurturing their ability to have an impact. Almost a brilliant pass again by Bedard. But you're taking away the ability of these talented blue liners to have an impact if you're using a breakout like this. Another bad breakout pass. Bedard, what a pass. Rinzel, rebound. Doc, Reichel, what a pass by Connor Bedard is on demon time, boys. He's been unbelievable in the first 10 minutes of this game. By far the best player on either team. Another one-touch pass. Oh my goodness, he's been so good. Second City says this game has been boring, but Bedard looks super sharp. I could not agree more. That's exactly my assessment. Bedard's been good. Reichel's been good off the puck. The first line's been buzzing, and it's all been about Bedard. Beyond that, I think the blue line's generally struggled, especially at breakouts. Don't even get me started. I need to stop talking about that. I think Oliver Moore's had some flashes as well. Second line's been noticeable. Lee Thompson, sorry. I thought that was an I. Lee Thompson says, hi, everyone. Watch Hawks game. Oh. Okay, never mind. Is the audio bugged for anyone? Josh says, is the audio bugged for anyone? How's my audio, boys? Is the stream doing okay? Any lag, any issues with audio? Be sure to let me know. A says, I'm just glad there's basically a full new coaching staff. About time it all got revamped. I generally agree with that. I think Blashill is a pretty interesting hire of the options they had available. But from a fundamentals point of view and from a developmental point of view, it could definitely be worse. My assessment on Blashill will depend pretty heavily on the way he coaches the blue line. I think the forwards will be fine. I think his scheme will be good for players who struggle with overthinking, guys like Oliver Moore, Reichel, even Bedard to some degree, because he's been holding on to the puck too much recently, especially a 5-on-5. But that blue line has been on a positive trajectory over the past season. I think Anders Sorensen did a brilliant job with the blue line last year. And my assessment on how Blashill is as a developmental head coach will be pretty heavily influenced by how he coaches the blue line. So we'll see. John L says, I thought audio has been fine so far. Oh, Josh is saying for the game. All right. For me, I'm on ESPN Plus. Are you watching on Blackhawks.com? Because it may be an issue on their end, but ESPN Plus has been perfectly fine for me so far. A says, I mean, Blashill is what he is. We'll give him a chance, but he wasn't my top pick. Yeah, me neither. I think it could have been worse. Could have been better. It is what it is. They want full development, and again, it is what it is. Alex says, do you ever not yell? Alex, let me ask you a question. Do you ever not hate? Am I yelling, boys? Be honest. You're making me insecure, Alex. Am I actually yelling? I thought I was talking pretty quiet. I think my voice is fine so far. Wolverine meme of David Carl. David Carl decided to stay in Denver, and from that point on, that was my number one coaching candidate. So from that point on. Lee Thomas is just saying, not trying to promote them. Hey, I appreciate it. I just don't want to say that stuff out loud. Because this is a YouTube thing. But I appreciate it. And again, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate everybody. We have 49 concurrent viewers right now, which is unbelievable for a preseason game at 6:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You guys probably have work tomorrow, unless you're jobless. But thank you guys for... Oh, Laferty beat that out. That's a bad icing call. Referees are still in preseason form too. But Laferty showing off some good speed. He definitely beat out that icing call. That should not have been icing. Ace says, I think everyone in the Hawk spectrum wanted Carl. I mean, yeah. It's pretty easy to see from his body of work why they did. I did too. Here's Sam Laferty. Nice pass over to Joey Anderson. Ryan Green whiffs on a shot and then it's taken away. But a good play by Sam Laferty. Another guy I kind of have my eye on. And so far, he's been pretty noticeable in that little role that he has. He'll probably be a fourth liner, if not maybe a third liner. But he's been pretty good so far as well. Here come the Red Wings the other way. Nice play by Del Mastro with physicality along the boards. Sam Rinzel with that 15 added pounds absorbs a body check and then ices the puck. Lee Thomas says, hopefully Del Mastro has a good game. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is one of the most interesting builds from a blue liner that the Blackhawks have. There is no left-handed defenseman with the offensive talent alongside the physicality that Del Mastro does. I really hope he establishes himself and becomes a full-time NHL player. The blue line is kind of wide open as Soderblom makes a good save. The blue line is kind of wide open on the left side in the short term. I know you have Wyatt Kaiser. You have Alex Vlasic, who will be on the left side from day one, and he won't really give up that spot. You have Wyatt Kaiser, who was just re-signed. You have Ethan Del Mastro, who will both probably be in the NHL. But you also have Korchinski. It'll be interesting to see who forces their way to an NHL spot on the left side of the defense. Matthew says, let's go Wings, watching from Georgia. Hey, thanks for joining, man. I was going to troll you. I was going to talk trash, but it's kind of cool that a Red Wings fan is joining a Blackhawks themed stream, so thank you for joining. I'm also really excited. I mean, given that the Red Wings are no longer in the same division as the Blackhawks, now I feel much more comfortable admitting that Lucas Raymond is one of my favorite players in the entire NHL. I absolutely love him. He's extremely underrated, and I'm also excited from the perspective of a Blackhawks fan who loves prospects. I'm excited to see Sandin Pellikka and Brantik Nygaard and the rest of the prospects in this game. So thanks for joining, and hope you're able to enjoy this game. Here's Carter Mazur. His pass is deflected and leaves the zone. Second City Sports says they just showed a graphic of the contract extensions. That Donato deal makes me nervous. Yeah, the length of it is a big question for me. Long pass over to Sam Laferty. Oh. I'm sorry, that's not Sam Laferty. That was Colton Dach. Did he just take a penalty? That guy, Alex69, says, I like Nate Danielson out of Detroit. Yep. They have a lot of very talented prospects. Oh, come on. Colton Dach, let me look at this replay. Was that actually a slash? Yeah, that was a slash. Never mind. I was going to start complaining, but that's a clear slash. Colton Dach, you can't do that. The Blackhawks will go on an early penalty kill. And this penalty kill formation and strategies under Blashill will be very different. It looks like he wants to crowd the puck by his quotes. So we'll see how the PK strategy looks in the early going of the preseason as well. Exactly, as John L says, time to see the PK unit. Nazar starting on the PK. I love to see that. Very aggressive by Wyatt Kaiser, but it's held in. Here's Axel Sandin Pellikka. Over to Jonathan Berggren. JT Compher. And that's saved. Oliver Moore speeding ahead. Short-handed. Oliver Moore, a weak backhander, is saved easily by Kosa, who plays it over to JT Compher. Nice little chance, though. Short-handed by Oliver Moore. It's Moore and Nazar, by the way, the two forwards on the PK1 unit. I think that's a message by Jeff Blashill on how he wants the PK to play. He wants them to play with a lot of speed, and the Blackhawks do have speed to play on the PK unit. I expect this PK to be very aggressive. Here's Jonathan Bergen. Nobody below the goal line. I do not like that. I mean, what the heck? JT Compher had nobody within 5 feet of him. Lefshinov, buddy, where were you? He was sucked above the right circle, the left circle. That's horrible defensive coverage. Jesus Christ, love. Buddy, where were you? I mean, I don't want to buddy, where are you going? He's above the face-off circle, and Nazar is at JT Compher is at the goal line. A wide open chance to save by Lefshinov. That's bad defensive coverage by Lefshinov there. Here comes Sam Rinzel trying to feather a pass, a nice little saucer pass that's intercepted. And now they're playing keep away behind the goal line. Again, very aggressive strategy by Blashill early on that penalty kill unit. And here comes Sam Laferty, another speedy forward on that PK unit, alongside Ryan Green, who has speed of his own. The Red Wings are set up in the offensive zone on the power play with 28 seconds left. Nate Danielson. Oh, what a pass. What a score. Carter Mazur. What a play. That's kind of when you get burned as a PK unit. If I was to hyperanalyze, this PK unit has been very aggressive. Look at them chasing the puck. 3 guys on top of the faceoff circle, which is the second sequence in which that happened on this power play alone. And it was a nice creative play. They draw the PK unit up above the faceoff circles, and then a quick little play behind the pass over to Carter Mazur with an easy tap in. A great play, but bad. I mean, you could call it bad PK unit, but this is a part of the learning experience, both from the coaching staff and these PK units on what they can and can't get away with. Very, very aggressive, both in a good way. They did generate 2 kind of B- shorthanded chances, and in a bad way, they got burned by being over-aggressive on the PK to end it. And here comes Bedard right after that PK, that power play goal for the Red Wings. Louis Crevier darting in, and his shot goes off a stick and ends up out of play. Crevier does not belong there. MSU Detroit fans is excited. Future consideration says too aggressive, easily established the zone, just did what they wanted. I could not agree more. That's exactly my thoughts. And again, that's part of the learning process. The coaching staff has to learn this roster. They have to learn the strategy that this roster can and can't do. And these players need to understand what they can and can't get away with within this actual scheme. And in that instance, it was too aggressive. You're absolutely correct. We have a few Red Wing fans in the chat. Welcome in. Unfortunately, your team probably won't make the playoffs, but it's okay. Not everybody can win Stanley Cups in the 21st century. It's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just talking trash. Thank you guys for joining. I'm glad you guys got the opportunity to see some of your top prospects score. Carter Mazur scored, which is probably nice for you guys to see, as well as Sandin Pellikka and Brent Signigaard playing on that first power play unit. They weren't able to get anything going on that unit, but still have been playing pretty well so far. Future consideration says that the aggressiveness was good to push a couple counterattacks, but both times in zone just right to the front of the net. I could not agree more. I think it was more egregious when JT Compher had acres of room behind Lefshinov, but it was also a big problem. It was essentially like a 3-1 formation. It wasn't even a diamond because all 3 players in the so-called diamond who are above the goal line, all 3 players got drawn way ahead. It was almost like a 3-1 in the defensive zone. And it was a very easy play to score a goal. And it's 1-0 Detroit. Alex is already overreacting. You guys have to at least respect that I'm not overreacting yet. I yelled at Lefshinov a couple times. I yelled at Blashill a couple times. But I feel like, we're not overreacting yet. We're keeping things in perspective, and we're giving a little bit of leeway to this team as they deserve. As Jeff Blashill looks on. The Hockey Sun says, season's over, pack it up. The Hockey Sun, you better be not starting that hashtag fire Blashill trend again. The first line's back out there in the offensive zone. Here's Bedard. Wins a faceoff clean. Taken away from Colton Dach. Here's Jonathan Berggren battling alongside Del Mastro. And now it's taken away by the Blackhawks. And here comes Sam Rinzel. He just has that puck taken away. But a quick shot by Dach, a one-timer, is easily saved by Sebastian Cossa. The Hockey Sun says fire Richardson. I like that. Hire Sorensen again. He's still on the coaching staff, buddy. Careful what you wish for. John L says, I realize the page you're showing on stream appears to be frozen. Let me fix that right now. It should be showing 451 now. Let me know if it's showing correctly. Yeah, and Rick Ball is talking about, I believe that was Bedard cutting down the length of his take to help with one-timers and face-offs and things like that. Here come the Red Wings. It's held in the zone. A tip and a good save by Arvid Soderblom. All right, perfect, John. I appreciate you looking out for the stream. Glad to see it's good now. Man, Bedard looks good with the letter. Bedard looks good in the letter, man. Maybe you shouldn't take it away again. Joel Jackson says, yo, sup, everybody? How's it going, buddy? First time here. Hey, welcome. Red Wings fan, hey, welcome. Everyone's welcome here. It's okay if your team is always just out of the playoffs. You're still welcome here. It's okay if your team's neither rebuilding nor contending. You're still welcome here. I appreciate you joining, man. Thanks for spending some of your Tuesday evening with me. And again, it's really exciting to see all of these young prospects. Even though I am a Blackhawks fan, I'm also a big fan of prospects and a lot of exciting prospects throughout the Red Wings pool. So it's good to see them all kind of playing in this game. The Hockey Sun, you're hating, buddy. The Hockey Sun said Reichel's look like sweaty ass today, unfortunately. That's a little hating. Lefshinov very aggressively blocks a pass in the neutral zone. He does not get burned for that. Oliver Moore with a really nice spin and then tries to play it through a defender's skates, but it is taken away. Oliver Moore's been trying a lot of stuff tonight, man. He's been very noticeable. Not everything's worked, but I kind of like the way he's played. I want to see him take chances and see what he can and can't get away with. Bedard again hard on the forecheck, beats out icing, showing off that new skating, and Sebastian Cossa covers up the puck on an easy shot from Colton Dach. A little pushing and shoving happening after the whistle as well. I mentioned this earlier, but given how many AHL guys are on both teams, I expect there to be some physicality, some extracurriculars between the whistles, things like that, and that's to be expected. Austin Watson, man, that guy just drives me insane. From my time watching the AHL last season, Austin Watson drives me absolutely insane. I feel like it's a little annoying to have to do this in the preseason, but I feel like Colton Dach being on the top line may be because of Austin Watson a little bit. You want to protect Connor Bedard and Lucas Reichel as much as you can. And the one guy, even though he's injury prone and whatever else, the one guy who can kind of physically match up, especially between the whistles, with Austin Watson is Colton Dach. Ooh, the Hockey Sun saying Moore looks good each time he's on the ice. The speed reminds me of Hagel. Oh, don't get me excited, buddy. Reichel over to Rinzel. Rinzel, nice spin move back to the blue line. Nice little wrist shot. Rebound, a good play by Doc while falling down on his backhand, funneling it towards Sebastian Cossa on its save. And now here come the Blackhawks in the neutral zone. Bedard regrouping over to Rinzel. Man, I want to see Bedard and Rinzel share the ice for the entire regular season. Those are two of the most dynamic players that are going to be wearing the Blackhawks colors this season. And I feel like they're going to create magic every time they hit the ice. Joel Jackson says, I wish I could physically watch the game, but I don't have streaming services to watch it. Hey, man, join the Discord if you're down to watch it illegally, or if you're out of market. You can watch it on ESPN+. I wonder if you can also watch it on the Red Wings website, because the Blackhawks website does have it for in-market fans. Oh, you can probably also watch it on the Hawks website. I didn't think of that. But you should be able to watch it on Blackhawks.com. And I think you will enjoy watching this game specifically as a Red Wings fan, because this is essentially a developmental camp for you. And I know I had so much fun watching Tom Curvers. So if you're a Red Wings fan who wants to see the way that some of the top prospects look, guys like Branson Nygaard, guys like Sandin Pellikka, this would be a really nice watch for you. I hate this breakout, man. I hate this breakout. Louis Crevier's pass is deflected. It ends up in the zone. It just makes life so much more difficult than it needs to be, man. I prefer a much more simple, spread the ice around, 2-1-2. Levshinov. Another penalty. I feel like I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, man. Let's take a look at the replay for this penalty. The Blackhawks are going back to the PK. Let's see if they figured anything out, learned any lessons from their first PK opportunity. Levshinov holding. Let me see. Oh, that's so blatant too, Levshinov. Come on, man. Always freaking out of position, having to play with your hands instead of your freaking feet. Come on, Levshinov. You're going to get your ass sent right back down to the AHL with plays like that. It's so bad. Stop being so freaking tunnel vision-y aggressive in the offensive zone. It's just a bad penalty to take, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying not to overreact, but that's just such a bad play. Here's Jonathan Berggren now. Along that side of the half boards over to Carter Bear. Carter Bear's playing. One of my favorite prospects from the last draft. I didn't even realize he was playing. Here's Carter Bear over to Jonathan Berggren. JT Confer. Carter Bear trying to force it to the left wing. And that's deflected and cleared. Here's Axel Sandin Pellikka. Man, this first power play unit. That's exciting stuff if you're a Red Wings fan, man. A nice little glimpse of the future. Branson Nygaard, a really nice move to lose Laferty, and a good save by Arvid Soderblom. Here's Axel Sandin Pellikka over to Jonathan Berggren. Branson Nygaard can't keep the puck, and that's deflected out of the zone off his skates. And now here comes the second power play unit for the Red Wings, led by Nate Danielson. Into the offensive zone. Great hit by Ethan Del Mastro. That's what I like to see from you, buddy. Louis Crevier tries to get it out along the boards. It's held in by Jonathan Berggren. Ian Mitchell, Blackhawks legend. And his wrister goes all the way in on Soderblom, who makes the save. And that's cleared. Future considerations as the first period comes to a close. Future consideration says forward's not helping enough. Took 4 or 5 passes to try to get out of the zone. That's a part of the breakout that I was talking about, man. It's one of Blashill's key features, and it's sometimes good and sometimes bad. It's going to be a learning process for the coaching staff to figure out a breakout strategy that works, and also the players. And if it doesn't work, my opinion on Blashill will sour if the breakout continues to look like this. But he has a couple months to figure this out before I start to get really upset about it. Jeff Blashill and bad breakouts. Tell me about it, NW. Just tell me about it, man. So in the first intermission, at the end of the first period, the final score after one period is 1-0. Red Wings, I feel like the PK has been a little bit better. The second opportunity, we'll get to see it a little bit more to start the second period. But a nice little hit by Ethan Del Mastro. Still struggling to clear the zone a little bit. Still very aggressive, but we'll see how it looks to start the second period as well. All right, boys. Let's quickly hear your first period thoughts in general. NW says I'm having PTSD. I feel like a lot of Red Wings fans can really empathize with me about this. Because I did make a Blashill video, and I watched a lot of Red Wings tape, and I told a lot of the people who I talked to privately, watching Red Wings tape with Blashill was a pain in my freaking ass. It was a pain in my backside to watch Blashill's Red Wings tape. I mean, it's not all bad, right? He did reach the playoffs. He did see some good development from guys like Moritz Seider. Lucas Raymond was pretty good. Dylan Larkin, especially early in the Blashill tenure, was pretty good. It wasn't all bad, but just the way he plays and... you know what? I'm not even going to go there. It was sometimes painful to watch. Joel Jackson says the Hawks website wasn't working for you, but the Wings website was. Awesome. I'm glad you're able to watch this game with us. Alex is overreacting as usual, saying Bedard is the effing reason is why this sorry-ass team is still relevant. All right, buddy. All right, boys. I promised this last live stream. We'll talk a lot more about hockey as we see these Zambonis going around the ice in this nice little... let me just refresh to make sure you guys can see it. In this nice little graphic, you can see the Zambonis clearing the ice, getting a fresh sheet of ice. Alex is sending me the link to higher lower. But before we do higher lower, let's go into the Dinosaur T-Rex game. I promised you guys that I was going to be touching this and trying to set a personal record. So now I need to lock in. My commentary is going to suck during this because I need to be locked in. I absolutely embarrassed myself. Why did I just hear footsteps? That was scary. I absolutely embarrassed myself. Alex, I don't care about your opinion, buddy. Joel Jackson says, would the Red Wings website work for all preseason and regular season games? Definitely not for regular season games. I'm not sure about the preseason. It will be a game-to-game process, though. I assume they're giving the first game for free. I'm not sure they'll give all the preseason games for free. I know it will not be for the regular season, though. All right, boys, are we locked in? All right. You guys ready? Here we go. Why does Blashill always sound like he just drank? Oh my God, I'm lagging. You guys all saw that. I know you guys all saw how much I was lagging there. That does not count. Bang. All right, let's forget that we saw that. Bang. Perfect. 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 All right, I'm on a roll now. Bang. Bang. Dude, it's like missing speed. This is not the same game. It's skipping speeds. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, don't even pretend like I'm making excuses. That's not. I used to be goated at the Google Chrome no internet game. What is happening? Joel Jackson says this might be the first time I've ever seen someone play the dinosaur game on a stream. Well, welcome to the Ringside General, baby. Consider subscribing. This is unique stuff. This is groundbreaking stuff. Oh my God, I'm so bad. You know what? Screw this game. All right, let me give you guys the option. Are we going to go with the old usual, the higher lower game? Are we going to go with human or not and give this one more try? I know it didn't work last time. Are we going to go with an NHL rosters game? Or are we going to go with some 2024 wrap-up regular season quizzes? You know what? Let me actually make this a poll, all right? Let us, how do I do this? Let us start a poll. I'm going to add what to do, all right? Hang with me over here. We're going to go with a higher, lower. I'm going to go with AI or not. I'm going to go with 2025 rosters, quiz that we could do together, or I'm going to go with 2024 wrap up quiz. All right, everybody vote in the poll. Everyone vote in the poll. Let's see what everyone wants to do. A lot of higher lower early on. It looks like a three-way tie for first place now. Joel Jackson wants to see higher or lower. Joel, I know it's your first time here. Higher or lower is somewhat in the Ringside General lore. If you want to check out the second channel, you'll see a lot more about that, which is the Ringside Gamer, which I just started. I think I have like 14 subscribers. But yeah, Karachi Bomber, that's higher, lower, lower, man. The Hockey Sun says Sabres fans are an NHL farm team. They don't really count. Ouch. It looks like a lot of us are thinking higher, lower, 38%. It's in first place for now. I'll give it a few more seconds. We do have 8 votes so far. Let's see if anyone else wants to vote. Gonna watch the Jets for a second. The Winnipeg Jets? What are they up to? Let's take a look, actually. Let's take a look at the rest of the NHL. I really do enjoy watching other teams. Boston and New York are tied at 1. Let's see who scored here. No clue. Let's move on. We already know about that game. Columbus and Buffalo are still scoreless. Let's see who scored in this game. Adam Boquist, Blackhawks legend, with a secondary assist. Emil Heineman scored, as well as Dougie Hamilton from Jack Hughes and Dawson Mercer. A 1-1 game in the first intermission. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Toronto fans are probably going absolutely ape wild. Their team is winning in a all-Canadian battle between Toronto and Ottawa. Let's see who scored in this game. Oh, they're playing their actual team. All right. Austin Matthews scored in I believe, did he play in the opening preseason game? I don't even remember. I watched some of the game. I don't remember if Austin Matthews played. But in the first season, without his buddy Mitch Marner, he still scored from Oliver Ekman-Larsson, certified playmaker, as well as Matthias Michelli, who was acquired to kind of help replace Mitch Marner's production from the Utah Mammoth, as well as Bobby McCann in the bottom 6 from Easton Cowan. Oh, good Lord, I don't like Easton Cowan. But anyways, from Easton Cowan and Matthias Michelli. Matthias Michelli was a 2-point game. I know Maple Leafs are overreacting to that. Good stuff over there. Montreal, please don't tell me damn it up. Please, please, please. Against Matvei Michkov too. I mean, please don't tell me damn it up. Please, please. Please don't. Thank God. Thank God he doesn't have a point. Cole Caulfield with a point from Lane Hudson and Nick Suzuki. It'll be interesting to see how Lane Hudson does this season coming off that Calder win. And Florian Zekai, not a good player. Anyways. Joel Jackson says, I feel like the Wings are the last team to play the first preseason game. Well, you're tied with the Blackhawks on that front, my friend, because this is the first time the Blackhawks are hitting the preseason as well. Check who's playing in the Winnipeg game. All right, let's take a look at that. Winnipeg versus Edmonton. Let's see. This is not the best. Let me see if the Winnipeg Jets lines are out. Winnipeg Jets. All right, let's take a look. This is just for you, Alex, and then we'll go to higher, lower. All right, boys. Oh, forgot. Oh, I feel like a part of my brain just blacked out this memory. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? I wish him all the best. How can you possibly root? How can you possibly root against him, man? I hope he has a breakout season. I hope he puts up a point per game season, man. I know he won't. He probably won't. I hope he does. He was so disrespected by so many people and so many NHL fan bases throughout this offseason saying, oh my God, well, he's definitely not even a fourth liner. Why are they giving him this contract? Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? His body has been breaking down for several seasons now. Since that one series against the Nashville Predators, Jonathan Toews has never been at 100%. Who knows? Maybe that 1 year of being away from hockey and being twiddling his thumbs in India, going for those Ayurvedic solutions to his problems, maybe that helped him. Maybe he's going to be back to his best. I'm rooting for him, man. I'm really rooting for him. Connor McMichael's pretty good. Oh, you said Connor McDaniel's pretty good. My bad. All right, boys, we ready for higher or lower? Weightlifting or Winnie the Pooh? You guys have to understand, this is the Ringside General lore, all right? We all need to lock the heck in and get engaged right now, all right? weightlifting or Winnie the Pooh, I'm going to make an executive decision and say higher, and I'm absolutely correct. Not only am I cracked at this game, but this is impactful stuff, all right? Ringside, don't do weightlifting, don't worry. My fat ass is never going to... I have the exact opposite problem, Alex, all right? Winnie the Pooh or Xbox One? We think Xbox? I like the way you think. It's not even close. It's basically 10 times the amount. Oh my God. Dude, this game always does this to me, man. Always does this. We're in the zone. We're locked into reasonable things. We're like, oh, does Winnie the Pooh, an innocent little children's game, have more searches, or the Xbox One, a gaming console? And suddenly, bang, boobs, bang. Out of nowhere. At least give me a warning. We gotta go higher there, don't we? Why do I sound like such a creep? I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna give society the benefit of the doubt and assume that people are not horny out of their freaking minds. All right? I'm gonna go lower here. What do we think? Why do we look like cupcakes? Alex, you want actual breasts on my screen right now? Lexus for the tatas. Are we going lower or higher? I'm gonna go lower. It has to be higher, right? It has to be higher. It has to be higher, right? I mean, we live in a horn dog society. It probably has to be higher. I mean, we're trying to get back to this high score. Remember last stream, that legendary moment, we got to 17. We're going lower? If it's under... Alex, it's going to be over 1 million. Come on. You know what, Joel? It's your first time here. For you, I'm going to go lower. Oh, Alex, you're right. My bad. My faith in society, my faith in humanity has been resumed. Heineken's definitely higher. A bunch of alcoholics in this world. Absolutely higher. Is Xbox One even the most recent generation? No, it's Xbox S and X. Xbox One is not even the most recent gen. I wonder what the timeline for the higher lower game is, though. I'm not sure if it's within the past year, because it would be weird if 5 million people are searching for the Xbox One within the past year. I'm really not sure what the timeline is. Heineken or silver? I think silver should be higher. What do you think, boys? You think silver's higher? Let me quickly end the poll. Yeah, we think silver's higher. Oh! I scored 4 this time. The average score, a little bit of above average. There you go. Let's not size shame us. We're above average. We can do better than that, though. Epic rap battles. What a weird thing to search up. I mean, who goes to Google and is like, you know what I want to watch today? Epic rap battles. I mean, I understand if you're into watching rap battles, they can be really entertaining. But who types in epic rap battles unironically? 12,000 of you are absolute dweebs. I'm sorry. Or Making a Murder. This is probably going to be higher. I've never heard of this series. It's a Netflix series, so it has to be higher, right? I'm going to go higher. Yeah, 200,000. A lot higher. Epic rap battles. What a joke. Whoa, a little politics here. I already know WikiLeaks is going to be higher, right? Darth Vader versus Hitler. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Stupid alcoholics. Jonathan Taves comes back after 895 days. I'm going to have to watch the highlights of that game, man. WikiLeaks higher? I think I'm going to go higher here. Second City, I think the Hockey Sun just beat you to it, but yep. No arguments there. I'm going to go higher for WikiLeaks, all right? And we're correct. 823,000. I feel like this is a good baseline to go off of. Whitewater rafting. It's a very specific hobby. Because you can raft... This is going to be an interesting one. Because again, I want to know the timeline. If this is like a summer search, this could be pretty high. Because whitewater rafting is one of the most fun hobbies to do point blank. It's thrilling. It involves water, which instantly makes everything a million times better. I don't know, man. Got to be lower. I'm thinking lower because this is a very specific hobby. Yeah, I agree with Joel. I feel like Joel and I are on the same wavelength. I appreciate you stopping by, man. It's too specific. I'm going to go lower here. And Raps, it's not even close. Santorini. Is this a city? Where's Santorini? I'm going to cheat. Santorini. It's an island. It was devastated by a volcanic eruption in the 16th century, forever shaping its rugged landscape. So it's kind of known for the way it looks. And it looks beautiful, as you can tell from this picture. And it does have some historical impact, but it is a very small island kind of in the middle of nothing. It's a Greek island. I appreciate the inside channel. Is that Instagram island? I'm not chronically online, so I'm really not sure. Is this like a famous island? Like, am I just living under a rock? Be honest. Alex says, dude, it's so crazy to think Jonathan Taves is back. I agree. Is Santorini like a really famous island that I'm just missing out on? Because I had to Google it to even know what it is. If it's a crazy island that everybody knows about, it's definitely going to be higher. Joel says, I've never heard of it. That makes me feel a lot better because I've never heard of it either. So at least I'm not alone. Alex, shut up. Okay, Alex is definitely trolling me. Alex is like, oh my God, bro, how do you not know Santorini? I'm gonna go higher, but I also know that Alex is trolling me. Oh my God, it's 1 million average monthly searches. It's very popular for being what people think of when they think of Greece. White houses with blue roofs. 1 million average monthly searches. Maybe I'm just living under a rock. Reincarnation. Oh my Lord, boys. I mean, Karachi B's about to be reincarnated. Oh my God, the second period's about to start. This is going to be our last one. Reincarnation, I'm going to go lower, right? Lower than Santorini. 1 million average monthly searches. I feel bad for living under a rock, man. The Hawkinson says everyone knows who Santorini is except for Joel and Mix. All right, fair enough, man. If I'm living under a rock, so be it. All right. Reincarnation is such a strange search. I'm going to go lower. Not even close. We're absolutely correct. And let's switch back to the mainstream so that we can get back to the game because the second period is about to start. We still have the power play for a few more moments now. The puck is about to drop, and it's won by Frank Nazar. Still 34 seconds left on the man advantage for the Detroit Red Wings. The first power play unit for the Red Wings is back out there. And here comes JT Compher. Sam Rinzel now behind the net. And the puck is cleared by Frank Nazar. A nice little play. Second City Sports says, Alex, Ringside doesn't know who Tolstoy was. He knows hockey and duck. Are you guys, okay, you guys need to be so honest. As Jonathan Berggren with a good shot, and that's a really good save by Soderblom. Berggren's shot was really bookmarked for that top corner. It's a great shot by Berggren from the right circle, and Soderblom makes a good save. You guys need to be so honest with me, and especially people who are brand new to the stream who don't know the Ringside lore. Do you guys know, without searching this up, who is Leonard Tolstoy? Do you guys know who he is? Future consideration says straight path to the net. Yeah, again, Berggren did have a straight path to the net. You're absolutely correct. But for those of you who are not familiar with Ringside lore, do you guys know who Leonard Tolstoy is? Alex, shut up. You're too familiar with Ringside lore. Like, you know him? Am I seriously living under a rock? Maybe I am living under a rock. You know what? I can get behind that. That's completely fine. Carter Mazur has a puck pickpocketed by Wyatt Kaiser. Now here's Colton Dock. Levshinov again pinching really deep in the offensive zone, but he does back off well. At least he got a decision by Levshinov there. Okay, all right. I see how it is. Leo Tolls. All right, buddy. What a save there by Arvid Soderblom on a partial break. How the heck did that partial break happen? I was too busy reading chat. Let's look at this replay. Lefshinov. Kaiser. That's more on Kaiser. A partial break, but a great save by Soderblom there. John L says, "Isn't he a Russian author?" Okay, I guess I'm just a stupid one. It's okay. Maybe I'm just uncultured. It's okay. I can accept that. You know what? Unk is not aware of everything that's happening in the world. I did not know who Leo Tolstoy was before you guys brought it up in chat a couple months ago. And I'll put my hands up and I'll admit it. All right? John L says, I don't remember what he wrote specifically, though. I think we still have a Tolstoy. Here's Crevier. Rebound. Oh, Ryan Green just missed the net. He had a wide open net there, but he just missed it. I think we still have a channel on the Discord that's Tolstoy themed. Correct me if I'm wrong, mods. Lefshinov again, really aggressive in the neutral zone. Now here comes Korchinski. Make a good play, Korchinski. Nice simple pass. That's a good breakout. I was trolling the breakout the entire time. That's a very good breakout. Oh, Toninato draws a penalty, and the Blackhawks will have their first power play opportunity of the night. We will finally get to see the power play of the Blackhawks under Jeff Blashill for the first time. Oh, come on, Betsy. Come on. This is where you get a goal. Come on, baby. That's a really good breakout, by the way. The first good breakout of the night. Coincidence or not, boys? The first good breakout of the night, the Blackhawks draw a penalty. The breakouts were so bad in the first period. But that breakout was simple. It was crisp. They passed the puck instead of trying to overskate it. They had good awareness. Here comes Connor Bedard now. Rinzel and Bedard playing pitch and catch. Bedard back to the point again to Rinzel. Rinzel back to Bedard. One-timer! Scores! Connor Bedard is a bad boy after a pitch and catch session with Sam Rinzel, basically 6 or 7 passes between those two players, a one-timer using that new shortened stick, and Connor Bedard ties the game up. A little sign of things to come with Connor Bedard in year 3, and what a snipe by Connor Bedard. Who needs 5 players on the power play when you have Sam Rinzel and Connor Bedard, baby? Pitch and catch and pitch and catch and pitch and catch and pitch and catch and snipe. And it's 1-1. What a great start to the second period by the Blackhawks. Much better on the breakout, much better on the first power play of the night, and much better defensively. Good stuff in the opening 3 minutes of the second period. Future Consideration says Kaiser had a nice breakout after good defensive play. Kaiser had a nice breakout, and Korchinski had a nice breakout. And I have my eyes glued to these breakouts, man. I really want them to be much better than they were in the first period. Sorry I sound a little absent-minded. I got too excited and I grabbed my microphone off its stand when Betsy scored. So I just had to screw it back onto the stand. But we're back. We're good now. Face-off in neutral zone. Nazar loses the face-off to JT Comp for the veteran. The second line is on the ice for the Blackhawks, along with the first defensive pairing. Here's Nazar aggressive on the blue line in the defensive zone. Now here's Aiden Thompson with a really nice play to get it through traffic and to clear the traffic to get it up to Oliver Moore, who kind of struggles to get it out of the defensive zone. Again, a little bit of a questionable breakout there, but there was a lot of pressure by the Red Wings, so we can give them credit as well. The Hockey Sun says, we're thinking 50 or 60 for Bedsy this year. I'm thinking the record. Alex says, told you haters going to hate, Bedard's going to kill him. I mean, you were calling that before the stream even started. I got to give you credit for that, man. Here's John Leonard. Back to the point. And a nice save by Arvid Soderblom. Joel, you have to get used to us, man. We are a very optimistic group, and we are very fiercely protective of our savior, the savior of the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard. I really like that movement by Connor Bedard, man. He's been so good in this game. I'm really happy he's been rewarded with a goal. Alex says, bro, Bedard's stick is so much smaller. He actually shortened it towards the end of last season. And if you know anything about Bedard or hockey players in general, they do not make equipment changes in the middle of the season. Oh, how did that go in? The Red Wings make it 2-1. But how did that go in? I wasn't even looking at the stream. Did Nate Danielson get a tip on that? Oh, what a... that's a... I have to give you a round of applause, man. What a tip by Nate Danielson. Oh, my goodness. What a tip. How's that for a glimpse of the future if you're a Red Wings fan? Oh, my God, what a tip. And the Red Wings have a lot of young prospects with that general profile, too. Oh, that's a great tip. Hey, the hockey son, come on now. Guaranteed Soderblom loss is back in top form. There are not many goaltenders who are making that save, man. That shot was going low. Nate Danielson tipped it right off the crossbar. A perfect tip into the back of the net. Joel Jackson says, I'm generally still new to hockey, so I'm still trying to understand the game. Oh, that's awesome. Let me know if I can help you in any way, man. I'm really passionate about hockey. I understand not everyone's going to be a Blackhawks fan. That's not the reason why I started the channel. And I imagine, by the way, sooner or later, I'm going to stem from being only a Blackhawks content creator to other stuff as well. But I have a big passion for hockey, and I love watching and understanding it. So if you need any help understanding the game as a relatively new fan, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Joel Jackson says, I also don't know about many players because I'm from Michigan and you're a Red Wings fan. Well, you don't have a lot of starters playing in this game, but you do have a lot of the prospects who fit those middle six roles. Nate Danielson is one of them. Bronsek Nygaard, as a former first-round pick, is one of them. Carter Bear, as a first-round pick, and the most recent draft is one of them. You have a lot of players in that general profile. Oh, another power play for the Blackhawks. Betsy, you want to double up, Betsy? Kaiser caught a high stick there. And the Blackhawks, with 14:27 left in the second period, are back on the power play. But Joel, what I was saying is you have a lot of those energy, grindy, talented, physical, not enforcers, but offensive players who are not, first line guys, but are really good second or third line guys, and who play hard every shift. You have a lot of those guys playing in this game, and you also have one of the most talented defensive prospects in all of hockey in Axel Sandin Pellikka. So that's the general idea of what you're going to be seeing in this game specifically. Scoreboard's not updating. Let me make sure it's refreshed. There you go. Frank Nazar all the way around to Colton Dach. Here's Nazar. They're overloading the left side of the ice. Nazar, not a good shot. That's blocked. And now here comes Sam Rinzel. Lucas Reichel. I don't know why they're not passing it to Bedard. Rinzel, a shot is tipped by Nazar, but it's tipped wide. And Bedard does get a touch, but it's deflected out of the zone. And the Blackhawks will have to regroup. Joel Jackson says, I'm hoping we make the playoffs this year. And I watched a little bit the last couple of years, and we came just short. I mean, we've been hearing that for a couple seasons, but if there is a chance, it's probably going to be this year. I think the Red Wings had a lot of disappointing players last season. I expected them to make the playoffs last year. I think the fact that Vladimir Tarasenko was such a big disappointment didn't help, especially from a goal-scoring point of view. I think Shane Gostisbehere being a departure was a much bigger loss than Red Wings fans expected him to be. I think this is a season where if the Red Wings are going to make the playoffs, this is the season where it needs to start happening. Oliver Moore now as the second power play unit comes on. Levshinov, that's blocked. Levshinov, buddy, horrible. Carter Mazur misses on a clear-cut breakaway. Levshinov again, too aggressive, trying to hold the zone after a bad shot. This is. I feel like I'm talking to a freaking brick wall, man. It's so frustrating watching this guy make such dumb decisions, such dumb reads, and it will get better because he is so inexperienced for a player like that. But a bad shot that's blocked, and it's okay. I mean, if you take a bad shot that's blocked, recover. Make sure you're the last man back. But no, he always follows it up by being too aggressive. And then he lets two guys behind him. And of course, that leads to a breakaway shorthanded. It's so bad. He's never going to be a power play quarterback if he keeps making decisions like that. It's so frustrating for me to watch, man. Here comes Connor Bedard back as Levshinov makes a good move and gets it back under heavy pressure. And the Red Wings recover the puck again. Awkward Human says, this is why Levshinov should spend the season in the AHL. And let me tell you something, Awkward Human. The more frustrating part about Levshinov is he was so bad in the AHL as well. He looked a lot better in the NHL than he did in the AHL. And yet when you watch him play in the decision-making, you think logically, this is a guy who's not ready for the NHL. It's a very tough development path for Levshinov, and this is why I do not envy the coaching staff of the Blackhawks, because they have to make very important decisions that will have massive implications on the future team. Levshinov is a second overall picked ahead of some very talented players like Ivan Demidov. He needs to be a really good player, and the development path is going to be very important. And right now, it seems like a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't situation with starting him in the AHL. So we'll see what the coaching staff decides to do. As Soderblom gets a bit of a bad rebound there. As the second line of the... Oh, what a pass. What a save by Arvid Soderblom. Brilliant post-to-post save on a brilliant cross-seam pass. And Soderblom with a highway robbery there. Hey, Second City, I said this early in the stream. I'm not going to overreact, but I also said I'm a liar, man. I know I'm going to overreact. This is hockey, man. We're all hockey starved, and it's a pleasure to be able to commentate hockey once again. The offseason in hockey is too damn long, bro. How am I supposed to go so many months without hockey and finally get hockey? And I'm in a hockey-starved mood, man. How am I not supposed to overreact? And by the way, I'm not saying that Levshinov will never be a power play quarterback. I'm saying Levshinov will never be a power play quarterback if he continues to make these reads. You cannot be such a risky player while playing the point on a power play. It just cannot happen. I know, buddy. I appreciate everything you do, bud, man. By the way, I forgot to say this earlier on. Second City Sports is a Blackhawks YouTuber as well. Be sure to show him some love. He makes some great content. He's also been making some Bears content. I know he uploaded one earlier today. I'll be sure to check that out as well. He's been reacting to every Bears win or loss throughout the season. Definitely some emotional must-watch stuff. So go show him some love as well. The Hockey Sun says Buschinov and Buschinski top pair in the AHL. I hate to be negative Nancy here, but another tough thing in their development is the fact that they are not complementary players. It's hard to pair them both in the AHL. They're not players who complement each other well. Oh, Joel, I see what you did there, buddy. I promise. I hope you're not a pregnant woman, Joel. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get political. For God's sake, man. Hey, Alex, you're watching the Jets game. How does Taves look? I'm focusing on one game. I'm not a great multitasker, so I'm focusing on the Blackhawks game. But let me know how Jonathan Taves looks. Nice defensive zone face-off win by the Blackhawks. Hey, my bad. Joel, I assumed you were being tongue-in-cheek because of all the political situation going on with Tylenol. I hope you feel better, though. Yeah, Second City, you might want to Google that, but we won't be talking about that in this stream. Halfway through the game, boys. 2-1 Red Wings, but I feel like the Blackhawks have been generally better in the second period. It was just one brilliant play by a Red Wings prospect to get the Red Wings on top. But outside of that, the Blackhawks have been the better team. Korchinski, get back on defense. Korchinski, buddy. Korchinski. He kind of got back. Louis Crevier with a good block. Now here's another long shot by Travis Hamonic. Crevier up the boards, trying to clear the zone. Crevier again. Korchinski make a good pass. A Hail Mary off the stick of Laferty. Look at Laferty. A dog chasing a bone there. I really like the way Laferty looked, by the way. In a bottom six-esque way, but I really like the way he played. Levshinov! Stay on your damn feet, Levshinov! I'm getting sick of these stupid mistakes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here comes Axel sending Pelika, dancing into the zone. One-on-one with Korchinski. Circles the zone. Now long shot. Rebound. Still loose. It's finally cleared from the zone, but that's an unbelievable. Again, you can see the dynamism from these young Red Wings prospects. And I mentioned Axel Sandin Pelika, one of the most exciting young defensive prospects in all of hockey. You saw that dynamism. Single-handedly carrying the puck into the zone, wheeling behind the net and creating a high danger chance all by himself. Soderblom could not really gather that rebound, and it took a group effort by the Blackhawks to get that out of the zone. Axel looks like a stud. Absolutely, he is a stud. He's going to be the power play one guy for the Red Wings for years to come. And I think he's going to be one of the upper echelon power play quarterbacks as well. Ian Mitchell is deflected, and that's another save. Really good save, by the way. Off another deflection by Arvid Soderblom. Now here comes Oliver Moore. Let's see that skating, baby. Oliver Moore over to Connor Bedard. Bedard to Renzel. A shot, rebound. Oliver Moore. Oh, bad pass. Ollie, you got to make a better decision there, buddy. I didn't think Colton Dach played very well on the top line, by the way. He was a little wasteful. Spammed shots a little bit. He had a couple bad passes. So now Oliver Moore's on that top line. Nice early change by Jeff Blashill. Great play. Look at Connor Bedard with a diving defensive stick. He's been so good throughout the game. That's great awareness, too, to understand where the danger is and to make a play. Laying out. Sacrificing his body, not for Karachi, but for the defensive responsibility of the Blackhawks. Bedard playing, and this is a different Connor Bedard, Alex. This is year 3 Bedsy. We're already seeing the changes. Unbelievable performance from Bedard. The goal doesn't tell the full story. He's been unbelievable shift by shift. He's been so good. Here's Nazar. Nazar tries one move too many, and that's taken away. Now here come the Red Wings. Korchinski, nice takeaway, Korchinski. I said before the game, I have my eyes glued to Korchinski. That's a really nice defensive play, buddy. Really nice defensive play. He also had a couple good breakouts earlier in the period. Nice work, Korchinski. Another shot deflected. It looks like they're going for those deflections, man. A lot of perimeter shots by the Red Wings now after that deflection goal went in. Here's Van Acker, who just cleared the zone. And he's going for a change. Blackhawks legend Ian Mitchell behind his own net. Bedsy looks more efficient. He looks spectacular in this game, man. I have no notes. Spectacular all-around performance by Connor Bedard. Nice deflection by Wyatt Kaiser, and Future Consideration says so little control and possession. A lot of guys behind the puck in this game. I feel like that's one of Blashill's emphasis coaching points. And I wonder how that's going to evolve throughout the regular season because, sure, it makes them technically better defensively, but it also makes the breakout so much harder and prevents the Blackhawks from getting control. So we'll see what the trade-off is as this scheme starts to be installed and as we get closer to the regular season. Joel Jackson says you might have to refresh the scoreboard again. My bad, buddy. Let me know if that's better. Also, let me know if there are any problems with the stream in general, if my voice is fuzzy, if there is a lag. I appreciate you letting me know when the stream is not up to date. Now, here comes Tony Nato. Here's a long shot with no screen by Van Acker. Now, back to the point. Crevier behind the net. Nice little fourth line shift, and the puck leaves the zone. Still on the power play. Is this still on the power play? Your voice is annoying. Your comments are annoying, Alex. How about that? Is this still on the power play? This might be an NHL.com issue. I'm not sure if it's a stream issue. Let me know if you can see 451 because that's what I see on my stream. Nice little rebound control there by Soderblom. Sending the rebound behind the goal line. Oh, nice play there. Here's Ian Mitchell. Sidestep. The Blackhawks are about to go on the penalty kill again for the third time in the game. And the Blackhawks touch the puck, and we're going back to the penalty kill with 4:51 left in the second. And the Red Wings prospects have the chance to increase their lead with 4:51 left in the second period. Let me take a look at the replay. JT Olsen says too much Chicago talk. I'm trying to mix it up. Let me know if there's a specific prospect on the Red Wings you want me to talk about. But I am a Blackhawks content creator primarily. I would love to kind of split out. And the Red Wings are one of the more interesting prospect pools in all of hockey. I'm not saying they're the best. They're one of the most interesting, though. A lot of really interesting profiles. Alex says, is it me or is Bedard, like my girlfriend, such a loyal person? Is it me or is Alex absolutely girlfriendless? Answer me that. The Hockey Sun says, do you think Levchinov would have been better served in college last year? Let me ask you a follow-up question before I give my opinion. Are you asking me that question with the benefit of hindsight? Or are you asking me that question are you asking me what I thought when the decision had to be made last season? Because my answer may be a little different for those two questions. Second City Sports says, Ringside, can you let me know when the puck drops on the face-off so I can sync with the stream? Of course I can, man. That's a great idea. We're currently in an ad break, but I'll let you know for sure. JT Olsen says, just messing, man. Just happy there's hockey on. Amen, brother. Amen. It's been too long without any hockey. It's a pleasure to have everybody here in chat enjoying the game with me, both Blackhawks and Red Wings fans. It's really a pleasure. Thank you guys again for spending your Tuesday evening with me. It's been too long without hockey. I love that we're all addicts, man. At the end of the day, we're all hockey addicts. We're watching game one of the preseason with this much passion. It goes to show how much we missed hockey and how much this means to us. So again, thank you guys so much for joining. Benefit of hindsight, yes, absolutely, 100%. He would have benefited more from the NCAA, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree, including a lot of the biggest voices with the Blackhawks. Let me just say this. The puck is about to drop, by the way. The puck will drop. I'll say exactly when the puck drops. Now, oh no. They went early. Nate Danielson's kicked out of the offensive the face-off circle. Drop now. So you can sync to that stream. But let me just put it this way. I liked Artem Levchinov a lot better in the pre-draft process than I liked Anton Friendel. And so far in the early goings, I love the way Anton Friendel's played this season. And in hindsight, I love the development path as well. In comparison, I don't like the way that Levchinov has developed so far. In comparison, this is just a comparison. I'm not saying one developed well and one developed poorly. I think Lafshanov is still on track to be a really good top four defenseman. I'm just saying in comparison, in hindsight, I would have changed a lot more about Lafshanov's development path than I would Anton Friendel's. What time is it for you right now? It's 3:58, 57, 56, 55, and the puck just left the zone. Halfway through the power play of the Red Wings, and the Blackhawks playing pretty well on the penalty kill. Here's Jonathan Berggren. A nice aggressive play by Sam Laferty again, but the puck is held in by ASP. Carter Bear shuffling the puck a little bit. He's fighting the puck. JT Comfort behind the net. Now here's Axel Sandin Pellikka walking in. And the tip goes just wide of Arvid Soderblom, who'll be very thankful that that puck did not reach him. Now here's Michael Brandstad-Nygaard behind the net. Here's Jonathan Berggren. Sandin Pellikka fakes a shot, now shoots, and that's blocked. The power play comes to an end, but the Red Wings are still holding on to possession, and the puck icing is saved because Del Mastro just stepped out of the box and beat out icing. Alex says, yo, Unc, are you going to stream the January 19th Blackhawks game? I have no idea, man. I wish I knew my schedule that far in advance. That's one of the downsides of being a medical student. Literally, I don't know when my streams are going to be until a day or two before they happen. And that's just the way it's going to be. The best way to know when I stream and when I'm not able to stream is just to subscribe and turn the bell notification on. Because I don't know when I'm going to stream any earlier than you guys do. Second City Sports, I tend to agree with that opinion, but I also don't envy the decision makers who have to actually make that decision. I don't like his body language in the AHL last year, and I really hate criticizing a prospect's body language. Bad rebound control by Soderblom, but he's able to dive on that rebound. What I was saying was I don't like criticizing prospects' body language, but I don't like the way he played in the AHL at all, and I also don't like his body language. I didn't like his body language in the AHL. He was a lot more engaged in the NHL, and that just might be between his ears. That just might be a situation where he needs to understand that he needs AHL time and he needs to get mentally engaged, because that might be one of the biggest barriers to his development. Alex says, oh my God, look at Bedsy giving them a hug. Alex stays caring about things that don't matter, that don't relate to the actual game. It's death, taxes, and Alex giving weird comments like that. Typical. JT Olsen says, Finney's been the talk of Red Wings camp, but I really like Michael Brandstad-Nygaard. I mean, I feel like he is who he is, but I've been really impressed by Brandstad-Nygaard as well. I feel like he's going to be a second-line center, man. A lot of people see him as a third-line center, but he showed some offensive spark, and I really think he has what it takes. The Red Wings do have an overload of that type of player. If he's a third-line center, he's going to be one of the better third-line centers in the NHL. I said third-line center. I meant third-line player in general. Joel Jackson said, I subbed. I hope you can get to 1,000 subs soon. Buddy, that means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Future considerations, I assume this is talking about Lafshanov, correct me if I'm wrong, but future consideration says, I agree, I feel he still needs to get chances. The skill level difference can also help eventually when others can connect your plays. Some look better at NHL than AHL, but need that skill. I completely agree with you, by the way. I think it is a legitimate fact that players sometimes look better in the NHL because their teammates are more talented and because there's more of a dynamic structure in the NHL than there is in the AHL. But with that being said, That's not an excuse for body language. That's not an excuse for lack of engagement. Just simple things like that. It's not an excuse for effort. And that's one of my big criticisms of Levshunov in the AHL last season. I can forgive a prospect for making bad decisions, but when the body language falls and you just make the same mistake over and over and you don't look like you're really trying, that's when I have a bigger issue. Hey, Alex, what's the Jonathan Taves update? James C says, is this game live? Absolutely. Joel says, you seem like a good guy. I appreciate that, man. Let me refresh this one more time. It should say 134 on the actual live stream. Let me know if the live stream is working well, if you can hear my voice, if the stream is working well, everything is on track. Here's Frank Nazar, offensive zone faceoff. He wins that clean, but they're going to have to redo it. James with the Kool-Aid Man impersonation. Frank Nazar loses the follow-up face-off. Soderblom, horrible pass, buddy. What are you doing? They kind of got away with it, but the Red Wings recover, and a really good defensive play there by the Blackhawks. An angle pass to Oliver Moore with speed in. Now back towards the point. Look at that skating, man. That never gets old to watch. Nazar, long, accurate pass. Levshunov, oh, that's a good play. Trying to find, I think that's Connor Bedard with a tip. Joel says, are we going to play another game during the second intermission? You damn right we are, buddy. Here's Frank Nazar now, dumping the puck in. 45 seconds left in the second period. The Red Wings still holding on to that 2-1 lead. Uh-oh. Oh, Aiden Thompson. Thompson, another horrible penalty, man. Stop playing defense with your stick, especially in the defensive zone, basically away from the puck. You're in no danger there. He's dumping the puck in. Why are you playing defense with your stick? That's too aggressive. Bad decision. Starting the third on the PK again. I mean, ugh. Watch your stick, man. That's a good play by, I think that's Jonathan Berggren. I didn't see who that was, but that's not a good penalty by Aiden Thompson. Let's see what the Red Wings power play unit can cook up. Blashill looks pissed. He's cussing. One-timer, nice block by Sam Laferty. Good play by Dalma. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, thank God it was tipped. I thought Ethan Del Mastro just pulled off his finest Mitch Marner against Montreal impersonation, man. Oh boy, I was about to lose my mind. I was about to turn into Blashill, man. Oh boy. Oh. But we stay 5-on-4. And now Rinzel clearing the zone. Good play by Sam Rinzel to get the puck out. And the Red Wings will have to regroup. Alex's Blashill is always pissed. You know what? That's one of the things I actually like about Blashill. The puck is back in the defensive zone for the Red Wings again, and now here comes... Is that sending? I don't know these numbers. I apologize. If you're a Red Wings fans, I still don't know the numbers of all these prospects. It's one of the downsides of having a mostly non-NHL team. I recognize JT Compher, and that's basically it. Joel says, how good are the Canadians this season? Oh, are we asking for predictions? Brian says, thoughts on Lucas Reichel tonight? A few good moments early in the game. I don't think there was anything crazy. He was playing well off the puck, playing off of Bedard reasonably well. And the fact that Bedard had such a good game while Lucas Reichel was alongside him is a good sign. But he didn't do anything crazy or anything like that. Joel... Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Red Wings fan, right, Joel? How good are the Canadians? Ivan Demidov is a demon, man. And being able to add a player like that to an already playoff team is going to be a good thing. I do expect to see a good amount of regression from a lot of other players. I think Nick Suzuki put up a very good season. He's still going to be really good. He's still a first-line center, but he put up an unbelievable season. I expect to see some offensive regression from that top line. Slavkovsky usually starts seasons really slow. Patrick Laine is just not a player who at 5-on-5 I tend to believe in. I think he's a lot better on the power play. But so far in training camp, he does have good chemistry with Demidov. And Demidov is just a demon, man. He's the kind of talent that can work and elevate everybody around him. And being able to add that to the existing talent that they already have is a huge boost. Obviously, Noah Dobson, the move of the offseason for the Montreal Canadiens. A right-handed defenseman, a number one, presumably to play alongside Lane Hutson, even though they're both more offensive guys. It kind of helps everybody else slot into the right position. They look like a good team, man. On paper, they don't have a lot of flaws. Second line center is a major flaw. We'll see how they're able to fix that. Maybe Kirby Dach is healthy and he continues to develop. Right now, it's hard to really depend on. It's hard to depend on that if you're a Canadiens fan because he's been injured for basically 2 seasons now. But yeah, beyond second line center, that's not a team with a lot of weaknesses, man. Second City Sports has rated this game out of 10 for the team so far. I'd go 3 out of 10. Feels like the same as last year. Even again, minor leaguers, we play like her. I think Bedard has played well, and that's really what I came to watch. I'll just put it that way. If you're ignoring Bedard, yeah, 3 or 4 out of 10. A lot of rust, a lot of tentativeness, a lot of bad breakouts, a lot of what I expected to see. Again, this is game 1 of a very different scheme, a very different coaching staff, and a very rusty set of players. And that's kind of to be expected. And keep in mind, even though we're playing against scrubs, more than half of this NHL roster is not actually playing. I mean, I kind of went through the list of notable forwards that are missing, but to go through it one more time, we don't have Ryan Donato, Andre Burakovsky, Ilya Mikheyev, Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi, Jason Dickinson, and Nick Foligno, and Landon Slaggert. Maybe this team would look a little different with all of those players, along with Alex Vlasic on the blue line and Connor Murphy. So I keep overreacting to game 1 of the preseason, but I also have to acknowledge we probably should not be overreacting too much. Alex says, if you ignore Bedard, it's a 2 out of 10. That's fair. Joel Jackson says, dang, man, we might start 0-1 with that description. Anything can happen on any given night, man. And especially with the Canadiens, I feel like they're going to be a very fickle team. You have Noah Dobson is making his NHL debut in game 1 of the season. You don't expect him to be at 100% with the chemistry with his line mates. Lane Hutson, maybe he has a bit of a sophomore slump. We'll see what happens. He's the reigning Calder winner, record-breaking offensive defenseman for the Canadiens. And again, you might see some regression on with the first line, and I expect the Red Wings to be starting on fire. This is a team with a chip on their shoulder. This is the year they should be making the playoffs. And that top 6 is still looking really good. And you have a lot of hungry, offensive, young players as well on their way up. So anything can happen on any given night, man. Joel says, then we have to play the Leafs twice. Again, the Leafs are another team. We don't know how they're going to look. They lost Mitch Marner, a 100-point scorer. Who knows how they're going to recover from that? The Panthers are a better playoff team than the regular season team. Of course, one of the best teams in the NHL. And the Lightning, again, they're a very good regular season team as well. The schedule usually ends up evening out over time. So it's easy to overreact to early games. I tend to do that as well. But usually over the span of a season, it tends to kind of balance itself out. All right, boys. We ready to go back? Reincarnation or engagement rings. I'll start us off with an executive decision. More people are trying to get married. Yep, engagement rings are way higher. Max Martin or engagement rings, boys? And by the way, can we all see the higher or lower game on the screen? Let me know. What are we thinking? We're thinking rings? We're thinking lower? Hey, Hockey Sun says, after the Hawks own the Canadiens at the home opener, will we finally get the recognition we deserve? If we see a repeat of that Frank Nazar performance against the Canadiens to end the season last year, the second last game of the season, in the Ivan Demidov debut, you will not hear me shut up to those obnoxious Canadian fans, man. Those obnoxious Hab fans, you're not going to hear me shut up for a moment. All right, perfect. Let's go lower for Max Martin. Not even close. The fact that this is so low should make the next one easy. DC Comics is going to be higher. That was easy. I made another executive decision there. A Blood Moon. Very specific finding, but also DC Comics is relatively specific. It's specific phrasing because DC Comics includes a lot of different superheroes that people would be more specifically searching up. I feel like fewer people are searching up DC Comics, for example, than they're searching up Superman or Batman. So the fact that this has 450 makes this a bit of a questionable one. So what are we thinking, boys? Higher or lower? Second City Sports is lower. What does everyone else think? I feel like Alex is doing some collusion. We're going to have to double check Alex's credentials, if you know what I mean. Make sure he's not a spy for the higher or lower corporation. Feels like he's doing collusion. That's an awfully specific number, Alex. He says lower, it's 338. DC's for nerds. Okay, the Hockey Sun. Okay, DC's for nerds. As if everybody in this chat is not an absolute nerd in the most extreme way possible. All right, I'll go lower. I'll go lower here. And we're correct. The Lion King has to be higher, right? Do I have permission to go higher for the Lion King? Permission to go higher? Yeah, Blood Moon is sick. Permission to go higher? All right. Lion King should be a lot higher. 1 million average monthly searches for Lion King. Red Nose Day? Just because we have a clown in chat named Alex doesn't mean Red Nose Day should be higher than the Lion King, right? We should go lower here, right? Am I crazy? Am I on the same wavelength as all of you? This should be lower, correct? Yeah, lower. 201,000. We're kind of on a roll. I didn't want to say this out loud, but look at this score in the bottom right corner, boys. All right, Thailand, land of the lady boys, or Red Nose Day. I censored myself. You guys hear that? Actually, let me do that. Let me do that one more time, boys. Forget I said anything. Thailand, land of the or Red Nose Day. Is that better? I feel like Thailand should be higher. It's one of the major countries for tourism in Asia. A lot of people go there. It's known for its cuisine. I feel like Thailand should be higher. Permission to go higher? Alex is higher. Hawkinson says higher. Alex says, can you use the microphone? I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me? Is the audio okay? I feel like a lot of people are saying higher, so I think I'm going to go with higher for Thailand. Let's go, boys. Our score is 12. Are we going to get to our high score? Thailand, oh my God. Still not as blind as some of these refs we're seeing today. The Diary of Anne Frank or Thailand. This is a monthly searches thing, not a global searches thing. Because obviously the Diary of Anne Frank is one of the most popular books in world history. But does it have more monthly searches than a country? The Hawkinson says lower. Second City says, Ringside doesn't know Santorini, but is excited about Thailand. Hashtag sus, hashtag family friendly. Okay, buddy. Thailand is not all about the lady boys, all right? Thailand's not all about the promiscuous side, all right? They have great pad thai. They have great cuisine, some of the best rice noodles in the world. There's a lot more to Thailand than just that side, all right? Come on now. Future consideration says, anyone see that Schaefer back check on Michkov? That kid looks like he's going to be fun to watch. On one hand, yes. On the other hand, that was a hook. But it was very exciting to watch Schaefer play. Unbelievable NHL debut. Unbelievable NHL debut. Hide and seek champion. That's diabolical. See yourself out, man. That's diabolical. I'm going to be frank and just... It has to be lower, right? All right, let's go with lower. Joel says lower. Anybody else has a strong opinion? Hawkinson says lower. I'm going to go lower, and we're absolutely correct. It's a monthly searches thing. Just because this is a very famous book doesn't mean it can compete with a high tourism style country. Taj Mahal should be higher. It should definitely be higher, right? This definitely should be higher. I'm just double checking with you guys instead of making executive decisions because I'm trying to protect that score that we got going in the bottom right corner. We're at 13 right now. This should be higher, right? Higher easily, says the Hockey Sun. I agree with this. 1.2 million. PTSD. Jared Tenorti gave me PTSD. Higher or lower, boys? You know what? I'm going to quickly use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I want to see some votes in the chat, all right? I'll be right back. You know what? I'll leave you guys with everyone's favorite anthem while I use the bathroom. You guys ready for this?
Baby shark.
Baby shark. Baby shark. Da 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 da. Shark dee 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 dee. Baby shark dee 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 dee. Baby shark dee 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 dee. Baby shark.
Sorry, boys, I'm back. Relax, I'm back. The Hockey Sun says, we're about to get PTSD when Ringside leaves his mic on during the bathroom break. Oh, Joel with a big brain idea. He says lower because people might just type the letters PTSD instead of actually typing out post-traumatic stress disorder. I think you're onto something. Because the only people who type out post-traumatic stress disorder are people who are more familiar. Colloquially, people use PTSD a lot more. Oh my God, that's a really smart. Sorry, I just heard footsteps again. That's a really smart play. Are we down to go lower? I want to double check with you guys. We're going lower? Why are you retracting messages? Come on, this is a safe area. Second City, come on, Grab. You don't need to be retracting your messages. What I'm getting from this is it should be, what's PSD? Oh, because you are such a, no wonder you know who Leo Tolstoy was. You're such an English snob, the Hockey Sun. Oh, actually, this is one word, so it should be PSD. Come on, man. All right, boys, we're going lower? I think Joel made a really valid point there. Are we going lower? Tearing me apart. I'm going to go lower. When can we listen to the epic rap battles of history, Darth Vader versus Hitler? First of all, congratulations. You got me to say Hitler on stream. Get ready for this channel to never exist again. Second of all, I'm not going to get demonetized doing that. OT intermission? You want me to play that in OT intermission? I'm not getting demonetized, buddy. All right, we're going lower. Going once. Going twice. All right, let's go lower. Oh, it's not even close. Why was I overthinking that? Builder should be higher. This is only 4,000, man. It's one of the lowest average monthly searches that we've ever seen. Look at the score, boys. What the heck? Sorry, let me fix my audio. All right. Builder should be higher. I'm going to make one executive decision because we are coming close. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Who's Mike Little? Can you guys let me know in chat who's Mike Little? I don't want to cheat. I don't want to Google it. But if Mike Little is somebody who anybody in chat is familiar with, it should be automatically more than 74,000 average monthly searches. This is not a high amount. And if we're able to get this, we'll be able to go into the third period tied with our high score. So let's just do one more, and then we'll switch back to the stream, all right? Former UFC guy. Grab, when did he retire? Was he a recent UFC fighter? The Hockey Sen says, wait, is saying Hitler actually bad? Yeah, it is. YouTube is very weird with this stuff. So I tend to be extremely careful. Like, if I told you everything that got my videos demonetized, like, you would not believe me. I just gave up even trying with YouTube, man. YouTube is one of the most tough platforms if you want to stay on its good side. It's just a very strange platform. Have you ever, like, I assume you guys are on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. Do you ever see those, like, annoying captioned videos where they intentionally, like, blur out random words? Like, for example, the word kill, they'll blur it out and things like that. I feel like those platforms are even less annoying than YouTube is. Oh, he's on Extreme Cheapskates. That's a tough one. He looks like a guy, like, not to make a stereotype or like generalize. This guy looks like a guy who would be on Cheapskates. All right, you know what? I feel like we're not sure. We're 1 point away from the high score. I feel like now's a good time to go to the mainstream, all right? The stream is starting once again. Man, I'm going to have to use the bathroom again sooner or later. That's the one downside of depending so heavily on Celsius, man. You pee like an untrained dog on a cruise ship, man. Good Lord. Strong stream, man. No worries of BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. One of the symptoms of that condition is a weak stream. No worries about that, man. I pee like an absolute dog, man. All right. Puck is dropped, and we are underway again. The Blackhawks are back on the penalty kill, playing a little bit of keep away. And now it's cleared down the ice, and the Red Wings will have a chance to regroup with a little more than half of the power play remaining. Let me just refresh this one time. Make sure we're up to date. Should see 1854 over here. Here's ASP. ASP still dancing. Carter Bear now. A lot less aggressive. You guys noticing this? A lot less aggressive from the PK. Oh, what a save! What a save by Soderblom. Remember that save. If the Blackhawks are able to come back, what a freaking save. Miraculous save on a beautiful one-touch pass. He couldn't get control of the rebound initially. And the Red Wings were able to get control of the puck with a one-touch pass, cross seam, a miraculous save by Soderblom. What a save. I don't feel like his rebound control has been very good, but outside of that, I don't think he's made many mistakes, man. My God. Alex says, don't glaze Sodi. Shut up, man. That's an unbelievable save. Second City Sports. Oh, I'm ringside. Look at me. I know medical terms. Look at me. I know what happens if I die. I apologize, man. You may not believe me. I actually try my best not to even mention medical stuff. It's just that because I'm a medical student, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And in a live stream setting, a lot of times I say the first thing that comes to my mind. I never mention, I usually never mention medical references in my actual videos or anything like that. It's just like in the live stream setting, whatever comes to my mind, I usually end up saying. And sometimes it's just medical stuff that comes to my mind. I apologize. The Hockeyson says, I know I talk badly of guaranteed loss Otter Bloom, but he's been solid. Yeah, I think he's earned an apology from you, buddy. Oh, power play. What? I didn't see what happened. What happened? Todd McClellan's angry. I didn't see what happened. The Blackhawks are on the power play. Oh, I was yapping about BPH. Here's Rinzel. What a turn. One touch pass from Nazar to Bedard. Oh, nice pass. Reichel now. Nazar dancing behind the net. Nazar still holding on. Here's Connor Bedard from near the blue line over to Sam Rinzel. Here's Nazar. Some perimeter hockey. Uh-oh. Connor Bedard now took the puck off of Rinzel's stick, basically. Gets it back to Rinzel. A lot of perimeter right now. Good structure by the PK. Nazar not ready for a one-timer there. Oh. Good play. Nazar was falling down, but he still managed to get it back to the point. Now here's Rinzel. A shot is blocked by the first guy. Not good. And it's cleared from the offensive zone. Was it an unsportsmanlike... Bedard, the first bad play from Bedard, all game, a bad pass that's intercepted. Now, Bedard gets it back to the point. Rinzel, a one-timer, and that's a good save with Toninato standing in front of the net. And it looks like we're going to be seeing the second power play unit momentarily. Chicago Blackhawks fan says, hello, guys, much love from Austria. Big Blackhawks fan. How's it going, brother, from Austria? That's unbelievable. Do you guys have are you the only Blackhawks fan you know out there, or is there a bit of a community there? That's amazing. An Austrian Blackhawks fan. What made you a Blackhawks fan, if you don't mind me asking? Uh-oh. Here come the Red Wings. Is it? Yeah. Michael Branson-Nygaard took a coast-to-coast short-handed and was one-on-one and got a good shot away. Here comes the second power play unit. Moore spinning into the zone. All the way around to Joey Anderson on the power play. I hope I never have to see this again. Toninato now. Over to Lefshinov. Lefshinov, don't do something stupid. A good pass over to Moore. Oliver Moore. Oh. A little bit of a bad pass, and that's cleared on an attempted pass to Toninato, and Lefshinov will regroup. Chicago Blackhawks fan says, we look every game, and my son is a big Oilers fan. We love this young team. Let's go, man. Round of applause for you, buddy. I feel like you just brightened up the live stream. Thanks for joining, man. Blackhawks fan from Austria. That's amazing. Ringside, why the F do we always get outshot, man? Tell me about it, buddy. Oh, we're getting shots on goal. I didn't even notice that. They're doubling us up. Korchinski's getting dipsy due to a lot out of his boots right now. A big part of that is the fact that the Red Wings had 3 power plays. 3 or 4. I don't remember. He's Jonathan Berggren behind the net. Sandin Pellick, a long wrister, misses the net. Korchinski, good play to get over to Laferty. Laferty battling along the boards. Korchinski, just unable to get it out. Here's Sandin Pellick. Goodness, he's slippery, man. Wheeling and dealing and shooting, and a good save by Soderblom to quiet down the defensive pressure and to get a whistle. And if you're a Red Wings fan, I would be thrilled by what I'm seeing from Axel Sandin-Pellikka. He's been one of the most noticeable players, if not the most noticeable player all game in the offensive zone. He's hard to get a finger on, man. He's extremely dynamic. Alex says your son picked the right team. Oilers are the right team? I don't know. I mean, I feel like the only right team would be the Panthers, but that's just my opinion. The Hockey Sun says the Hawks know they can't score if they don't shoot, right? I completely agree with Second City Sports comment. We haven't figured that out for years yet. It's been a problem since the Jeremy Colleton era, brother. It's been a very long time, man. Long time since the Blackhawks have figured out that they should probably shoot the puck. The good news is a lot of the young prospects that are not yet in the NHL are shooters. Guys like Lardis and Frundell. Even Kanserov is a bit of a shooter, even though he's more of a playmaker. He's been shooting a lot more in the KHL this season, so at least that's something to look forward to, along with obviously Connor Bedard. So he's oh no, what happened? What the frick happened to you, buddy? Soderblom also almost got completely caught out. That's a bad turnover. Oh, Janelle may be a little ahead of me. Shai Buyam now. Long pass. Lefshinov, great defense. Lefshinov, great defense. You're almost out of position there. You're almost a little over-aggressive, but you lean into him and showed off that physicality. And now look at him go coast to coast. Lefshinov, are you about to do something? Over to Aiden Thompson. Lefshinov. Kaiser scores! Oh my God, Lefshinov. That was all you. He gets a secondary assist for that trouble, but what a shift by Artem Lefshinov. Great defense, coast to coast, skates into the offensive zone, takes a hit to make a play, and Wyatt Kaiser gets it right into the top corner of the net. What a play by Lefshinov. That's what I want to see more of, baby. He's had a rough game, I'm not going to lie. But that's exactly what you want to see. Perfect decision making. Enter the zone, hold up play, and take a hit to make a play. Over to Aiden Thompson, and then Wyatt Kaiser skating right into space the way he did all of last season and snipes it into the top corner. What a play by Lefshinov. Round of applause, buddy. I've been talking about you all game, and you finally show up with a big play. Remember that play by Lefshinov, because that is what makes me excited about that player. Wings almost took it directly the other way and scored, but Soderblom with a save. The Hockey Sun, you may have just won the chat, man. Number 78 looking so good. I thought TJ Brody was back. Oh my God, man. Now here's Merrick Van Acker. He turns the puck over. I'm okay with the fourth line making mistakes. It's okay. None of these guys are NHLers. Comfort takes it away from Laferty. Now here comes Korchinski. Man, this is one big problem with this game. Like, there have been ups and downs, but one consistent issue the Blackhawks have had is when they take the puck away in the defensive zone from the Red Wings, they're unable to get it out. It's always like trying desperately to pass it back with the Red Wings battling along the boards. They found it such a hard thing to get the puck out of the zone when they force a turnover in the defensive zone. Nice poke check there by Soderblom. The Red Wings, again, a sustained pressure in the defensive zone, even though the Blackhawks had a turnover earlier in the shift. Oh my God, almost a tap-in by Carter Bear. Another penalty. Oh my God. It's Ryan Green this time. 5th power play of the freaking game. That's what happens when you're stuck in the defensive zone. Your legs get tired. It was basically a 2-minute shift in the defensive zone for that line. Your legs get tired and you start to play defense with your stick. It's hard to move. So especially game one of the preseason. But again, this is one big issue I've seen all game is the breakout when you get in transition. When everyone isn't perfectly aligned in the Blashill triangle support system, the moment you get a turnover, they don't know what the heck to do. And that's something that's going to need to develop throughout this preseason. The Hockeyson says, actually, never mind about that rap battle. Alex says, hey, Ringside, the team knows power plays are good and penalty kills are bad. Well, it doesn't seem like they know that in this game, but that's okay. Future Consideration says, Blackhawks haven't had a control shift like Detroit just did all game that I've seen. I completely agree with you. It's been a lot of transition one-and-done plays in the offensive zone, and a big part of that has been missing the final pass. I feel like that's happened a lot more with the second line especially. Nazar has missed a couple of passes. Oliver Moore has had a couple really interesting plays, but sometimes the final pass is missing. But it's also just the fact that there have been a lot of sequences where the Blackhawks have been hemmed in the defensive zone. And they've been shorthanded a lot in this game as well. All right, boys, I apologize. I'm going to need to use the bathroom one more time. I'm not... you know what? Actually, yes, I am. You guys get to listen to that song one more time. I will be right back. All right, boys?
Baby shark.
Baby shark. Baby shark. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Go. Shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark.
Actually, you know what? I forgot I have a screen for this. Let me go to the Be Right Back screen. I know this is not ideal timing. I apologize. But, you know, potty emergencies can't break. Can't wait. I'll be right back. This is, again, the downside of Celsius. I will be right back. I apologize, boys. I'll be back momentarily.
Baby shark.
Baby shark. Baby shark. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Go. Shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark teeth. Da-da-da-da-da. Baby shark.
Are we back, boys? Hope I didn't miss anything crazy. I have to refresh my stream. Are we back? Everything good? Here comes Laferty off the outside of the net. Are we still good? Stream still good? Audio check, 1, 2, 3. Kaiser dumps the puck in. Is Lucas even playing stuff? He did have one good play earlier in the third period. One play where I noticed him, but he's not been the most noticeable player. I agree with you guys. All right, perfect. Still good. Thanks for letting me know, boys. I appreciate you guys being my eyes and ears on the streaming side of things. And let's finish off strong. All right, boys? 9 minutes left in a tie game. Will this be going to overtime? Or will we have a winner in this last period of the this last portion of the third period, I should say. Here's Sam Rinzel behind the net. I love his move. Look at that movement through 2 forecheckers effortlessly. Rinzel, you're nasty, man. Some extracurriculars again after, but oh, that was beautiful by Rinzel. There's Reichel. I noticed him. Look at that. The ski mask boy, I'm so embarrassed. I couldn't read that. The ski mask boy says, how can the Red Wings go to LCA every day and be determined to win anything? They suck and they know it. There's Colton Dock showing off some physicality. Against Blackhawks legend Ian Mitchell, I may add. What time is it on your stream? I just started the ad break. I'm sorry. I'll let you know about the time of my stream when the ad break's over, all right? And I can do the same thing, so you guys can align your stream once again with the stream if you want to. Of course, completely optional, but if you guys want to, I will... the next face-off, I will say exactly when the puck is dropped, so you guys can align it if you'd like to do that. Chicago has to stretch them. Why am I stuttering now? Chicago has to stretch to make playoffs too. Chicago's not making the playoffs this season, at least. I would be shocked, flabbergasted, dumbfounded if the Blackhawks made the playoffs. That's not happening. Second City says, oh, okay, you're just ahead of me. Stupid DirecTV. Yeah. I just refreshed my ESPN Plus stream, so maybe that's why I jumped ahead a little bit. The Hockeyson says, I remember a training camp quote of Ian Mitchell the year after he signed out of college where he implied he was excited to sign an 8-year deal in Chicago. I don't remember who it was. Was this Chief or am I hallucinating? I remember a really big media voice essentially implied that Ian Mitchell was the next Duncan Keith. And I kind of alluded to that earlier in the stream, but how ridiculous is that take in hindsight? Oh, Janelle's using DirecTV and you're ahead of me. Cool. Might be an individual thing then. Alex, if the Blackhawks make the playoff, maybe you should get a girl first. All right? Unless you call your right hand a girl, then you do you, man. It's a free country. All right, I'm going to let you guys know exactly when the puck drops. We're taking a look. Soderblom has 34 saves on 36 shots. Great performance, by the way. But I will say now, as soon as the face-off is the puck is dropped for the face-off. All right. So the puck is being dropped. We're waiting. Puck is being dropped now. All right. It was won by JT Compher so cleanly. He won right in on Sebastian Kosa. So we're going to have to do it again. But I hope you guys are able to align your stream with my stream if you're interested in doing that. Also, Janelle, just keep in mind there could be a slight lag to the actual stream. So I'm not entirely sure whether DirecTV is ahead or behind of ESPN Plus. But it could also be a YouTube streaming platform kind of delay. Merrick Van Acker's not had a good game, by the way. It's a weird player to be targeting, but I'm just saying. Uh-oh. Clear-cut breakaway. What a save again by Soderblom. This guy's been standing on his head all game. just really aggressive in the offensive zone for no reason. The puck is broken out. A clear-cut 2-on-1. Again, Lefshinov, that's not how you play a 2-on-1, Lefshinov. So aggressive to the guy who has the puck. Look how far out Lefshinov is drawn, leading to a clear-cut breakaway. And Soderblom, stonewall. Lefshinov has made one play and a lot of very bad plays, man. There is a lot of development that needs to happen with Lefshinov. But again, too aggressive in general by the Blackhawks. Soderblom's been covering up a lot of deficiencies. This game should not be tied, buddy. Like, I'm telling you right now, the Red Wings should be winning this. And by the way, the Blackhawks have a more talented roster on the ice right now than the Red Wings do. This is essentially the Blackhawks NHL blue line. And they do have Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar on the ice. There's Connor Bedard right now. A bad turnover, Betsy. Bad turnover, Betsy. Rinzel bails him out. Now here's Colton Dach with close support defensively. Rebound score. How many freaking point-blank saves are you expecting him to make? Another point-blank save, and nobody other than Sam Rinzel, who's playing desperation defense behind him, as a pseudo goaltender, nobody's near him. How many turnovers? How many bad plays? How many breakdowns in defensive coverage, man? Oh my goodness. You guys all owe Arvid Soderblom individual steak dinners after tonight. It's unbelievable how bad they've been. Point blank save upon point blank save. How many saves does a goaltender have to make? Unbelievable. Again, against a prospect team. What is happening? Okay, you know what? I caught myself again. I'm not going to overreact to preseason game 1, but oh my goodness. It's 3-2 Red Wings, and nobody who has a set of eyes and a brain and an optic nerve, nobody can say that this was not deserved. The Red Wings should be winning by 3 or 4 goals right now. Arvid Soderblom has been committing larceny throughout the night, and we're still losing 3-2. Story of a Blackhawks night, man. Story of a Blackhawks fan's life. How many times have we seen this story? From when Peter Mrazek was standing on his head 2 seasons ago, to when Spencer Knight was on fire to start his career, and Arvid Soderblom on some occasions last season as well. Goaltender stands on his head. Nobody else knows how to play hockey. Another turnover. This is a big problem, man. Whenever there's a transition play, whenever there's a change of possession, nobody knows what the heck to do in the defensive zone. Whenever the Blackhawks have possession and turn it over, or whenever the Red Wings have possession and the Blackhawks force a turnover in the defensive zone, they don't know how the heck to respond. Another huge save by Arvid Soderblom. Another turnover by Kaiser. What are you doing? What are we doing? Are you guys professional players? Are you guys getting a salary? What is happening? Another instance of them being hemmed in. Now Soderblom makes a bad pass. Bad communication with Lefshinov. Soderblom shouldn't be playing that puck, by the way. That's not on Lefshinov. That's on Soderblom. Hemmed in the zone again. Watch either a goal or penalties coming up here. Just watch. Nazar is completely gassed out. As Darren Pang points out, everyone's gassed out now. And it's because of stupid turnovers. What are you guys doing? The worst self-inflicted punishment I've seen. Oh my goodness. I just completely nowhere near the puck right now. Here's Jonathan Berggren. The Hawks are completely exhausted. They're out of gas. 5 minutes left, a one-timer, a huge cover of the puck again from Soderblom. Oh my good Lord. Just the mistakes that this team is making right now, these are beer league level mistakes, man. I understand. Again, I've made so many excuses throughout the stream, and I'm trying not to overreact. These are not NHL caliber mistakes. You're behind your own net in the defensive zone, and you're trying to nutmeg up a player who's forechecking. Why? Get the puck out of the zone when you're 2 minutes deep into a shift. Why is that such a revolutionary concept? Make the simple play. Have basic awareness. Scan and look for your teammates. Understand where danger is. This is not rocket science. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. I forgot to change that. Thanks for letting me know, John L. I appreciate you being the eyes and ears for me. Woo! I feel like we're back in mid-season form, man. Stephen Riley says someone just a minute ago was talking about how bad Detroit is, while Bedard and a large number of the main lineup is getting pumped. Who was talking? I never said Detroit was bad. Ringside, we're effing, yeah. Our team isn't good. I'm not expecting our team to be good. I'm not expecting our team to win a ton of games. I'm expecting them to make simple NHL caliber decisions. That's the entire thought process behind hiring Jeff Blashill. And look, this is not a commentary about this game specifically. I'm talking about what I expect to see from the team in the regular season. I cannot tolerate seeing these mistakes. In the regular season, if this happens, there was no point in hiring Jeff Blashill at all. This is his entire appeal. His entire appeal is simplifying the game, focusing on fundamentals, and focusing on close support. And if none of that is evident, when the regular season rolls around, fire him on the spot. I don't have any tolerance for these kinds of mistakes. Kind of his fault. I mean, yeah. Chicago Blackhawks fan, I'm not entirely clear. But by the way, I'm not overreacting to this game. I'm just using this game as an advantage of the kind of very simple, fundamental mental lapses and dumb decisions that an NHL team should not be making when the regular season goes around. I'm not judging the team already. I'm just saying if they continue to make these mistakes when the regular season rolls around, that's not a good sign at all. John L says, if training camp practices were tough, imagine how tough practice will be after a loss. Blashill already said that the team will have tomorrow off. I wonder if he reconsiders that. This game. I mean, 15 shots on goal, by the way. We're coming up to 4 minutes left to play. 15 shots on goal. 40-plus shots to a scrub team. It's not even a scrub team. This is a team of prospects. I understand they're talented prospects. I've been glazing them all day. This is just... Hockey is back, eh? Hockey is back. Here they come again. Another partial break. Another... How many times are we going to see that? Carter Mazur misses the net on a wide open breakaway. Scores! What? Nazar? No, that Nazar was celebrating. Did Sebastian Cossa make that save? Let's see that replay as the Red Wings ice the puck. Nazar was celebrating, I thought. Big hit by Colton Dock. And then big hit by Rinzel. Let's take a look at this. No, that didn't go in. Sebastian Cossa held his ground. Oliver Moore was celebrating like he's Patrick Kane in 2010 winning the Stanley Cup. He had his arms up and everything. He was ready to go full Nail Yakupov down the ice. But no, that puck did not end up in the net. It's still 3-2 with 3:30 left to play. It's going to be a frenetic finish if the Blackhawks can actually shoot the puck, which they actually do in that instance. And Sebastian Cossa with an easy save. Now here comes Korchinski. Come on. Let's see some dynamism, Korchinski. Nice pass. Nice breakout. Sam Laferty. Oh, what is happening, man? What are we doing? Here's Giannis and Berger now playing keep away. Nice pass. Carter Bear. Nice hit. Now here comes Ryan Green. Connor Bedard with a good breakup pass, by the way, but of course his teammates can't do. Lefshinov, buddy. I have my eyes on you, Lefshinov. That's a horrible turnover. It's 2:37. It's go time now. No stupid mistakes now. This is a regular season realistic situation right now. Let's see what you guys can do. Here's Del Mastro behind the net. Joey Anderson. Toninato is saved. The puck leaves the zone. They're going to pull him probably if they get possession right now. Here's Sam Rinzel now under a ton of pressure, no support. Thought close support was the entire point. Okay, never mind. Why is Merrick Van Acker on the ice with 1:55 left? Here's Connor Bedard. Turns the puck over because he's on the ice with a bunch of scrubs. Why is Merrick Van Acker on the ice? Now why is Ryan Green on the... What? Why is Ryan Green on the ice? Horrible turnover. Another save. Why is Bedard on the ice with a bunch of scrubs with under 2 minutes left? Blashill, you terrorist. What is happening? They still haven't pulled the goaltender either because they can't get possession because it's Connor Bedard and a bunch of fourth liners. Connor Bedard's been on the ice for a minute and 30. Now they finally pull the goalie, and this is such bad clock management. Horrible clock management. Now here's Levshinov with 54 seconds left. A saucer pass over to Colton Dach. Finally, they get their first line out there. Lucas Reichel dancing in the zone. Good play by Reichel, by the way. Good entry. Levshinov shovels it ahead. Oh, Doc, almost a good idea. Levshinov, where the frick are you? Levshinov, why are you in the neutral zone? The 30 seconds left, Levshinov. How are you not holding the blue line? What are you doing? I can't do this. Oh my God. 18 seconds left now. Rinzel overskates the puck and it goes out of the zone. A comedy of errors. Horrible clock management and horrible execution to end this game. Bedard a toe drag penalty, draws a penalty. But the game's over. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? It was Connor Bedard playing single-handedly for over a minute with a bunch of fourth liners. And keep in mind, when I say fourth liners, I'm being very generous. How can you have, with under 2 minutes left, how can you have your best player double shifting with Merrick Van Acker and Jack Pridham? What type of culture are you trying to instill in a team in a game where you had 15 shots on goal with 4 minutes left in the game? That's the kind of coaching decision you make. I'm not going to overreact. Oh, for God's sake, man. It was Connor Bedard single-handedly. And of course, he draws a penalty by going coast to coast through every single Red Wings player to end the game, but unfortunately, nobody else can support. And by the way, Levshinov, bad game. He had one very good sequence leading to that secondary assist. Other than that, a horrible game. And he really complimented that at the end by not holding the blue line. He was all the way on the defensive blue line for no reason when they're trying to hold the zone with 50-something seconds left in the game. Just a comedy of errors. Just basic errors that an NHL team should not be making. And you're starting to see which players are not ready for the NHL. I'm just saying that. I'm saying that point blank. Some players are not ready for the NHL. And by the way Levshinov played, he's not ready for the NHL. It is what it is. John Nelson says, Hawks lost one preseason game and it's so over. I'm trying my best not to overreact, right? This is a very tough situation for a very young roster learning how to adapt to a very different coach. I talked about all those things in the beginning of the video. But at some point, it comes down to being a professional hockey player and making decisions that a professional hockey player should know how to make. And some of those decisions at the end of the game were horrible, and some of the coaching at the end of the game was horrible. And again, look, I'm not saying fire Blashill. I'm not saying that Levshinov is a bust, even though both of them had a very bad end to the game. What I'm saying is these are the kind of plays you can't see in the regular season. If this continues, If this trend continues in two months, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. Joel says, I have school tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Joel. It was a true pleasure to have you in chat. It was nice to meet you, and thank you for being such a great member of chat. I appreciate it. Louis D says, not to be negative, but outshot ridiculously, same as last year. Outshot ridiculously, same as last year, against a team that's less talented. It is what it is. Anthony says, bro, calm down. Hey, man, look, I already gave all of these conditions at the beginning. I already said I'm going to try my best not to overreact, but I am hockey starved, and I'm probably going to go back on my word. That's what I said to start the stream, and looks like I was correct. In all seriousness, it was a pleasure to watch hockey again. Even though this was not the result we would have wanted, not the performance we would have wanted, I thought Connor Bedard played spectacularly. Arvid Soderblom, mid-season form. A lot of other players had some flashes. I thought Oliver Moore played well. Rinzel had some great shows of athleticism. Levshinov didn't have the best game, but he also had a tremendous defensive play and then a coast-to-coast move to set up that goal by Wyatt Kaiser, which is an unbelievable play and a sign of how talented that player is when it all comes together. There are a lot of things to be excited about. It just sucks that... and by the way, I also want to note that I am a fan before anything else, right? I put a facade of being a very serious guy who hyperanalyzes. I'm also a fan. I also overreact. And it's unfortunate if you're Jeff Blashill or you're a supporter of Jeff Blashill that we have a lot of PTSD. That's a code word. We have a lot of PTSD from a lot of several years of lack of success. And it's going to be a learning process, and I am here for the ride. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this unit responds to a loss like this and how the practices start to see some of the positive changes that Blashill is going to try to bring. All right, I think that's a fair assessment. Anthony says, where's all the Levshinov guys? By the way, Anthony, good to see you. It's good to see you again. We missed you, man. Anthony Tony says, where are all the Levshinov guys thinking he'll be the NHL this season? I'll be honest, I've been pretty strong that I don't think Levshinov is ready for the NHL this season, and I really think he showed that this game. A lot of poor reads. A lot of being aggressive when he shouldn't have been aggressive. A lot of playing with desperation. He had a bad holding penalty. He had a couple bad moments in the defensive zone. He had a couple bad passes in transition. He had a couple bad reads in all three zones. It was not a good game from Levshinov. And that's all stuff that a lot of his deficiencies are all in his head. He has the talent. And you saw that raw talent on full display on that Wyatt Kaiser goal. But that raw talent is not really leading to consistent positive impact. And that's why I don't think he's ready for the NHL. Alex says the hockey son, he wants to win. Okay. Thanks for the stream, bro. Thanks for joining, Joe. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Thank you guys so much for spending your Tuesday night with me. I know it wasn't the result we would have wanted, but one thing I will say for sure, it was a pleasure to spend my evening with all of you. I've really missed this. I've got to make a lot of new friends and see a lot of old faces as well. It's always fun doing these live streams. It's a different level of fun than it is to make videos. Being able to engage in real time with all of you is really the highlight of my day. Really the highlight of my week whenever I'm able to do this. So thank you guys so much for making it fun for me, for making it fun for each other, and for helping us build this community. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.